It is a great pleasure to have your company here at the FIG Artistic Gymnastics World Championships of 2019, taking place for the third time in Stuttgart, Germany, and it's the 49th edition of these World Championships. A competition that has gone on for a veritable half-century of events. And what we have coming up today is the second medal event of 14 at these World Championships. The men's team final is shortly to get underway. China are going for 8 out of 9 team titles, but they were the second strongest in qualification. The Russian Federation have never won it, but they were the top qualifiers. The problem is, where do we go from there? Japan were the third strongest in qualification, but had some difficulties. Ukraine were the fourth strongest in qualification, but they are prioritising the all-around competition, so their lineup is maybe a little different from what we might expect. Great Britain were the fifth strongest in qualification, and it just so happens that due to a quirk of the draw, their last rotation will be the Olympic champion Max Whitlock on pommel horse. What about Switzerland, the sixth strongest in qualification of reliable all-arounders? The USA were seventh strongest in qualification, but they were downright peculiar. They had 2 very strange rotations and 4 very good ones indeed. If the USA perform as they did for 2/3 of the competition, they're in the mix. And what about Chinese Taipei? For so many, the unknown quantity coming into this competition. They were spectacular in qualification. Can their team of movers and shakers keep going upwards? Well, the long and the short of it is, we don't really know, because this could be extremely tight and extremely close. That's why every last word needs to be said in the next few minutes, because once those gymnasts are out onto the field of play, it's going to be breathless action. Ollie Hogben here in the arena in Stuttgart, bringing you the competition alongside gymnastics coach, gymnast and sports scientist Dr. Lisa Gannon. And Lisa, if it's anything like yesterday in the women's team final, I'm not sure that we can take much more of this, and I suspect many viewers can't either.
We're still recovering, aren't we? What a highlight that was. A historic bronze medal for Italy. The United States of America winning and the Russian Federation taking that silver. It all came down to that final routine, and as you said, Ollie, it may well be the same today, who knows?
It's certainly going to be very close indeed, we expect. The Russian Federation, who've never won it, they are the top qualifiers. People's Republic of China, the second strongest in qualification, going for 8 out of 9 team titles. Then Japan, who were the third strongest, but they had an uneven session of qualification. Particularly Kakeru Tanegawa found things tough, but Kazuma Kaya looked marvellous.
Yes, he did, and we'll see some of these again in the all-around competition, and of course those apparatus finals. But today, it's all about the team, and the supporters are out in force.
They certainly are indeed. The Swiss fans have got real high hopes for their team, making a little push towards the podium, the sixth strongest in qualification. It is time to get underway. We're going to welcome the gymnasts out onto the field of play and give you a little word about the runners and riders here in this men's team final. It's time for team gymnastics across the 6 pieces of apparatus in men's competition.
Wir begrüßen unsere Turner. Please welcome the gymnasts.
Russian Federation.
And here, the Russian Federation, the top qualifiers, going for their first ever team title. Ring specialist Denis Abliazin, pommel horse master David Beliavsky, reigning world all-around champion Artur Dalalian, reigning European all-around champion Nikita Nagorny, Ivan Stretovic, a silver medalist from the Olympic Games in 2016. It's a fantastic team.
It is. It's a super lineup. Silver medalists last year by just almost a tenth of a mark. It was so close. They'll be wanting to turn the tables this time and make history.
But can they? That's the question. The defending champions, People's Republic of China, with Deng Shudi, Olympic medalist, Lin Xiaopan, the reigning Chinese champion on the horizontal bar. Sun Wei, the team world champion from 2018, part of this great side. Zhao Ruteng, the all-around world champion from 2017. Zhou Jingyuan, the world champion on the parallel bars in 2017 and 2018, who quite extraordinarily is not going to be in the parallel bars final.
Yes, interestingly, they did have issues in qualification, and we won't see Zhao Ruteng either on pommel horse, so time to rectify those problems.
Japan with Daiki Hashimoto, the young hope, and he really is exciting. Yuya Komoto, the other debutant. Kazuma Kaya, the fourth strongest all-around performer in qualification. Kakeru Tanegawa, who took a team bronze medal at the World Championships last year. His brother Wataru, who was also part of that team, 3 years older than him at 23. And the alternate gymnast, Shogo Nonomura.
They are, of course, without Kinko Uchimura, 6 times all-around world champion, or Kenzo Shirai, 5 times world champion specialist on floor. They're equipping themselves very well in the qualification competition, 3rd place coming in.
The Ukrainian team, the 4th strongest in qualification. Vladislav Ryko, Youth Olympic Games medalist on 2 occasions. Petro Patniuk, the 6th strongest qualifier for the all-around. Igor Radivilov, the vault specialist and rings specialist. Oleg Vernyayev, he won't be doing too much today, we expect only pommel horse from him. Yevgen Yudenkov, he'll be doing all pieces, we understand. The gymnast who made his World Championship debut a couple of years ago. Maxim Vasilenko is their alternate.
Yes, very interesting that Oleg Vernyayev is not performing on the parallel bars. Quite a surprise, but as you say, maybe saving themselves for the all-around.
So, what about Great Britain, the 5th strongest in qualification, the silver medalist from 2015, Dom Cunningham, has qualified for the floor and vault final. Joe Fraser, he'll be very busy undertaking 4 pieces. James Hall will be doing every piece, as we understand, a valuable all-arounder. Gianni Regini Moran, the Youth Olympic sensation from 2014, is at the senior level at long last. Max Whitlock, the reigning Olympic champion on the pommel horse. And the alternate gymnast, Courtney Tulloch. They're certainly in the discussion, aren't they?
They certainly are, and the order starting on rings and finishing on pommel horse with Max up left at the end. That routine could be very, very important.
Cowbells mean only one thing. It's the team from Switzerland, Christian Baumann. Pablo Brega, the all-around silver medalist at the Swiss Championships last month. He's in the all-around competition here. Benjamin Guichard will perform on vault, floor and pommel horse. Oliver Heggie, 12th in the all-around competition and known for his high bar work. Eddie Yusuf, he'll be performing in everything but the pommel horse. And Taha Sahani is the ultimate gymnast for this Swiss team. They're a very reliable team, the Swiss.
They were. They performed in the final subdivision 8 of qualification, under incredible pressure, but they did not crack, and they've made it through to this team final and that Olympic qualification place.
As have the USA. Now, what are we going to see from them? Trevor Howard will participate in the still rings. Sam Mikulak, who just made it into the all-around final. He was in trouble in qualification. Akash Modi looked very reliable, the all-around bronze medalist from the US champs. Yul Moldau was the 11th strongest qualifier for the all-around. And Shane Whiskas is always a thrilling competitor on the horizontal bar. Alan Bauer is the alternate gymnast. And Lisa, my question to you is, which USA do we see today?
Well, interesting. 4th in Doha last year. They took a bronze back in 2014. They will need to improve if they've got any chance of getting a medal in terms of their qualification performances.
The 8th strongest in qualification. On the subject of people who are improving, the fantastic Chinese Taipei, Su Pingqian, Li Chikai, Xiao Yujian, Tang Chiahung, who's qualified for the all-around along with Li Chikai, and Yu Xiaowei, who'll be participating on the parallel bars and still rings. Tim Guanyi is the reserve gymnast for Chinese Taipei. Well, so many of these Chinese Taipei gymnasts were made famous by a film called Jump Boys back in the day. Well, the Jump Boys have become the Jump Men, haven't they?
Well, incredible performances from them. 17th in Doha. Not only have they earned themselves an Olympic place in the top 12, they are now in the top 8 in the world and vying for a team title. Very impressive work from them. We have some finalists in the apparatus amongst them. It'll be interesting to see if they can repeat their wonderful performances in this final.
And so to the floor exercise, where we begin the duel between the Russian Federation and the People's Republic of China. Some superb performers on this apparatus for both nations. The Russian Federation have got some big tumbling that takes place on the floor.
They have. So each of the apparatus have 2 teams performing on them, and the format of the competition, there are 4 or 5 gymnasts in a team. In qualification there was 4 up with 3 to count, but in the finals it's 3 up, 3 to count. Every routine matters.
Japan and Ukraine starting on the pommel horse, Great Britain and Switzerland on the still rings.
Yes, James Hall just taking his warm-up here. So consistent, a reliable performer around all 6 apparatus.
That's the great thrill, isn't it, Lisa, of the mechanics of a team competition. You need your James Halls in there, the person who can deliver consistently across all 6 pieces. But there's a great role for the specialists too.
There certainly is, and as we saw in the women's team event yesterday, nothing can be taken for granted. All of the teams had errors, and it makes to a very exciting leaderboard.
To wit, the United States of America. And the gymnast who said after the competition that he felt like he only really kind of woke up and got moving when he actually started performing on the rings. Sam Mikulak, he started on the floor exercise, 11.533, 12.6 on the pommel horse, and then he finished with 14.866 on the horizontal bar.
Yes, he had 3 falls throughout qualification, very uncharacteristic of him, and just qualified to the all-around in 24th place on a tie-break rule. He has such talent though, and hopefully that will be on display today.
Yes, qualified in the 24th strongest performer in the all-around. He was actually 27th in the rankings, and the reason for that, looking ahead to these competitions, for those of you new to gymnastics, is the 2 per country rule, which adds a little pressure on to some of these top teams.
Here we're seeing Ukraine warming up on the pommel horse, and this apparatus, well, it was punishing, wasn't it, in qualification? So many countries had issues with it. It's like the equivalent of the beam for the women. Just one hand placement or one shoulder position wrong and they're off. So I'm sure Ukraine will be pleased to have it first, and if they do it successfully, it'll be done and dusted.
Yes, and they're competing alongside a Japanese team who've had issues at the World Championships with the pommel horse in the past. So all of that means that we're set up potentially for another agonising nail-biter, in which case it's lovely to have your company to join us on this journey of terror through the men's team final. What a wonderful sport the world of artistic gymnastics is. The competitors themselves are the most remarkable role models. For me, always been one of the most glorious things about this sport is everywhere you look, you have an example of incredible tenacity, of sensational heart, and also of real spirit. These gymnasts will work as a team, but they will also treat each other with the utmost integrity and respect.
They will, and there's something special about the team event, you know, working with the compatriots to try and get the best possible result. And you'll see the teams shouting for each other as they move around the arena across the 6 different apparatus, which all have their individual requirements.
Now there's a real man of the moment in terms of all-around competition. Kazuma Kaya has developed enormously over the last 12 months. He looked magnificent at the World University Games in Naples, where he blew away the rest of the field to take all-around gold. Can he challenge for the podium in the all-around competition? That is a story for another day. Now it's the team competition. Japan begin with Kazuma Kaya.
Takes a deep breath, composes himself as he begins. The team final now underway. Starts with that one handle handstand and another. Holding his form. Into the work on one handle, very small base of support, adding to the difficulty. And now he begins to travel. One end of the horse to the other, that was nice. Keeping his feet locked, now into the flares. Forward and the backward travel. And a precise routine there from Kazuma Kaya. A great start for Japan.
A mighty roar as he dismounts the apparatus. We're coming to expect that from Kazuma Kaya, but Lisa, this was a cracking beginning.
It was. Look at that. The extension through the hips in the flares. Hand placement's precise. Keeping the line in the circles.
So Japan start positively. What of the United States of America? Over on the vault, Akash Modi, really important part of their team, very reliable in qualifying.
Oh, and again, another reliable, consistent performance from him. That vault has a 5.2 difficulty value attached to it. Look at that. Eyes firmly on the top of the vault, wrapping into the twist. Center of the mat on the landing. Again, solid performance to get the United States of America underway. He's happy with that.
And he, one suspects, will be pretty happy with that. 14.4 for Kaya, just down by a couple of tenths from qualification. Now, over to the floor, where just a moment ago, even Stretovic of the Russian Federation scored 14.3 and added around about half a mark to his qualification performance. Now for China, it is Lin Xiaopan who scored 14.933 for this great routine in qualifying.
Yes, he was the second highest qualifier on this apparatus. So we can expect great things from him. Very nice, little pike. Front somersault with a half turn out. Oh, and he's out of the floor area there. Very difficult combination, the 2.5 twist, double twist forward. Lost a little bit of control. That was much better. Double pike. Forward twisting front, 2.5 twisting front. High and controlled in the double twist. And there's the whistle. It's 10 seconds to complete his routine, 70 seconds maximum. And the triple twist, just a small adjustment on landing. Lin Xiaopan, the first gymnast for China on the floor.
Well, very interesting start from both the Russian Federation and the People's Republic of China on the floor exercise.
Let's take a look at him tumbling again here. Here is where he went out, and both feet out. So depending on the severity of that excess in terms of the perimeter of the floor area, the penalty will be greater. Just 1 foot is a tenth. We'll see what the judges decide.
It's not like a team comp's ever come down to a tenth, is it?
Yes, and here was a triple twist to finish. Cleanly round, nice form in the air, just a little extra step on the landing, but every step matters.
Akash Modi, 14.2 for his display on the vault, and that's up by just over a tenth from qualification. First chance to see the team from Chinese Taipei in competition. This is Su Ping Chen.
Su Ping Chen there, again. Just remarkable, really, how they've improved in terms of the standing in men's competitions. Clean vault from him. Happy with that, a good start. The fact that they're in this team final itself, coming in 8th, moving up from 17th position in Doha.
13.666 for Su Ping Chien. He was part of that team that took the all-around, or the team silver medal in Napoli at the World University Championships. Lin Xiaopan has a 14.2 score. Down quite a bit from qualification there. Quite a bit, actually, almost 3/4. Nikita Nagorny has got some big work on the floor exercise. Third strongest in floor qualification, 14.9 was his score.
It's very impressive. Like you say, third highest qualifier, and there a triple back somersault, and the audience clearly impressed. Handspring double front with half turn out in the pike position. So explosive. Oh, and what a combination that was as well. Two and a half, full twist, half twist. The European all-round champion going well. Style in the wide-armed handstand. It's the highest all-around qualifier, and finishes with a very nice half in, half out. Well, that was a super start on floor from Nagorny.
That opening tumbling pass from him, that triple, he just does it time and time again, and he always seems to absolutely stick it.
Yes, there's not a lot of room for manoeuvre there, is there? Across the diagonal, needs such lift, pulls in so tight, holds onto the knees there, in the tuck position to complete the rotation. It makes it look easy, effortless. This was impressive too, though, the combination of these, 2.5, then the full twist in front, in the straight position, and half twist. Beautiful form in the air, and complete control throughout.
Great example of how difficulty is accumulated from Nikita Nagorny. To the still rings, and a chance to look at the work of James Hall.
Here he is, pulling immediately into the cross position. It's got 13.766 in qualification. That gives us a rough indication of what maybe to expect. There's a Maltese. Very still indeed. Excellent one so far. Proud of the team that took a silver medal with Great Britain at the Europeans in Glasgow in 2018. And they're controlling the handstand very nicely. Again into the handstand. And a double twisting, double tuck, just a little pace on the landing. A very good routine for James Hall and for Great Britain.
Well, apologies for our erroneous graphic, misidentifying James Hall, but there's no disguising James Hall. That work on rings, lovely, 13.966 for the British team.
Yes, an improvement on qualification.
Up by a couple of tenths, so positive start for Great Britain. And we're going to talk a lot about tenths. There's no change for Nikita Nagorny from qualifying, but you don't need it when you've got a 14.9 on floor, so that will do well.
Yes, excellent start.
We're going to be in a position reasonably soon to look at things at the 1/6 mark of the competition. Xiao Ruoteng is the 4th strongest performer when it comes to apparatus qualification for the floor final, and he's the all-around world champion from a couple of years ago.
Yeah, stepped into the shoes after Koei Uchimura was unable to compete in Montreal. I think it's all about the team. That was very nice. 3.5 twists, a half twist combination. 23 years of age. Working hard to control those landings. Oh, and again, look at that pinpoint precision. Into into the flares with spindle and up into the handstand. See this sort of work on the pommel horse, including it as a linking element in his floor, adding to the difficulty. Again, super control. Takes a breath, has time to complete his final pass. The triple twist, super work from Zhao Ruteng, who placed 4th on this apparatus in qualification.
Some of the very biggest floor scorers going very early on in this rotation. It's giving us a most engrossing head-to-head contest between the Russian Federation and China.
Yes, and look at the lift here. 2 twists, 2 somersaults in the tuck position. Versatile in his acrobatic elements. Showing control in both directions. This with the 2.5 twisting back, double twisting front, and look at that. Absolutely nails the landing.
Now, just to give you an update on things, Japan, after Kaya scored 14.4, got a 14.533 from Kakeru Tanegawa. Now it's young Daiki Hashimoto, the brilliant teenager who scored almost 15 on this in qualifying.
Yes, into his routine. He's in the pommel horse final. That is assured already. That comes from the qualification competition. And look at the line, beautiful line. Judges looking for extension from the shoulders to the toes, and that's a good example of it. Swinging well. Now the flares with travel. Precise, keeping the shoulders square. Back onto the 2 handles and up into the pirouette and the dismount. Super work from Daiki Hashimoto.
Well, Japan have pummeled the pommels. They really have delivered on an apparatus that's troubled them in the past.
Yes, no such problems there today, though. They'll be thrilled to get through the pommel horse. Encouraging the audience to show him their support.
He's been one of the stars of this competition. Daiki Hashimoto, 14.466. So down a little bit from qualification, but certainly very good scores for Japan. Zhao Ruteng, 15.033 for him. Massive number and really important for China.
Well, he was so precise, wasn't he? Excellent work from him on the floor.
Artur Dalaloyan, the 5th strongest qualifier for the floor competition. We're seeing the best here.
Yes. Oh, lovely opening tumbling from the reigning world champion on this apparatus. Full twisting front, a double pike front, but oh, just a little bit lost his balance for a moment there in the corner. I think trying to stay in the floor area to avoid a penalty and turning quite quickly. He's lost his balance for a moment. Such a stylish performer, though. Two and a half, double twisting front. And the triple twist to finish. Well, some excellent difficulty, but it wasn't without some execution errors. When we're clutching at straws here, you know, of course it's world class, but that's the difference. We've seen thousands of the mark, sometimes distinguishing the two gymnasts.
We certainly have, and from Artur Dalaloyan, not perhaps the sort of degree of steadiness that we might have expected after what he's delivered in qualification.
Yes, he had 14.733 in qualification. Some super work. I mean, this was lovely, wasn't it?
Well, just to give you an update on how things are going for Ukraine, they've had a bit of a struggle on the pommel horse with Vladislav Hriko scoring 11.8. Now to Oleg Vernyayev, and this is, we expect, the only thing he's going to do in the team final. 10th highest qualifier for the all-around, so they're obviously saving him.
Yes, he's excellent on this apparatus. He's currently the reserve for the pommel horse final, just placing 9th. That was the standard. He's the Olympic champion on parallel bars, but we're not going to see him on that apparatus. Anyway, in the meantime, let's focus on this routine. And there, the Russians between the handles, super work. Shimado travel. It's a long routine, piling in the difficulty. Up into the handstand. Gymnastics finishing off there. Thanks to the audience, be glad to get through, I'm sure.
Well, consider it a cameo from one of the very greatest in the world. He's not playing a big part in this team competition.
And a difficulty score of 6.5 there, just a slight hesitation. Just losing his rhythm for a fraction of a moment, but some difficult work included. Trying to give Ukraine the best opportunity to get off to a good start with his routine. Look at that, the triple Russian in the middle. So much pressure on the wrists. Keeping his leg form throughout, and you can see the legs need to be up to avoid them hitting the handles.
We'll turn his attention to the all-around competition, and now we will have a little look at Great Britain competing on the steel rings. Joe Fraser now, who scored 13.866 in qualification, the 20-year-old.
Yeah. Into the Maltese, strong position for him, nice and flat. That's what the judges are looking for, and the shoulders low in the cross. Each of these positions have to be held for 2 seconds. Straddle planche. Joe has qualified for the all-around final. Swing up to handstand. Nice line. Working a little bit there to keep his form. And the double twist, double tuck. Oh, beautiful landing. Again, another solid performance from Great Britain.
And looking maybe a little bit better than his qualification did. He is the reigning English champion on this piece.
Yeah, certainly a very solid dismount there to conclude the routine.
Well, that is quite a big advancement, actually. 14.333, up half a mark from the qualification score. Joe Fraser going well for Great Britain. Oleg Vanyayev, 14.5, down just by 1/10 from his qualification score. Ukraine, though, might well be down a little bit towards the lower end of the order due to some of those marks on pommel horse. Artur Dalaloyan scores 14.633, and the Russian Federation look like they're in provisional lead at the moment.
Yeah, it's a strong routine, just 0.1 down from qualification.
Deng Shudi is the last gymnast to compete in this first rotation on the floor. Team bronze medalist from Rio 2016. He scored 14.166 for this piece in qualification.
The handspring, a double front half in the pike position. Very well controlled. Full twisting front, 2.5 twisting front, but he's out of the area. That will incur a penalty. 2.5 twist, double twist. All of the somersaults have to be different to count. Moving towards the corner, moving towards the conclusion of his routine. Around up into the triple twist, a step back on landing. Enchudi, part of the gold medal winning team last year.
Well, by my calculations, a 14.6 would take the People's Republic of China level with the Russian Federation. Anything more than that and they'll go into the lead.
Well, he's got 14.166, as you said, in qualification. Had a little time where he popped out of the area, so there'll be a penalty for that. I want to keep those to a minimum, but there was some excellent work as well. Full twist 2.5. This was that run. So that may prove costly, certainly in terms of the tenths. Lifting high there into the triple twist. That was the final tumble pass, and just left foot going back to control his momentum.
Reigning Chinese all-around champion, but he'll only be doing 4 pieces here. 14.1 for Deng Chudi, just down a fraction, and that 0.3 penalty that Lisa alluded to being rather key in that score. So the People's Republic of China will trail the Russian Federation by half a mark at the end of the first rotation. They will also trail Japan, but by significantly less. So it's the Russian Federation, then Japan, then the People's Republic of China. USA, who started on the vault, are in 4th place. Great Britain 5th. Chinese Taipei didn't have quite as much joy on the vault. And then Switzerland, and as we expected, Ukraine down in 8th place.
Yes, it's interesting that Ukraine have been very strategic in almost accepting that perhaps they won't medal when they were 4th in qualification, but they obviously feel that the all-around is very important to them.
And they've got gymnasts in the form of Petro Patniuk, placed 6th in all-around qualification, and Vanyaev, who is an Olympic silver medalist in all-around gymnastics, placed 10th in the all-around. And Vanyaev has had his stresses and strains, hasn't he, recently?
He has, and perhaps they feel that by not putting him on so many apparatus, he really does save himself. And because it is an endurance event, these World Championships, the qualifications, the team, the all-around and the apparatus finals, it's not just one event, so they need to pace themselves.
I imagine it's exhausting for some of you watching it at home. And if you're watching for the very first time, it's great to have your company, and hopefully we'll do our very best to tell you a little bit more about how the world of gymnastics works along the way. So it's Great Britain, who are currently in 5th place, joining Switzerland, who are currently in 7th on the vaulting table. And this is one of those occasions where Great Britain have the chance maybe to make more of their vault than the USA did.
Yes, we have Dominic Cunningham, one of the gymnasts from Great Britain, who is in the vault finals.
On the pommel horse, and nothing dramatic has happened on the pommel horse so far in these championships, so that should be fine. The People's Republic of China and the Russian Federation, and this is where the People's Republic of China did have some nervy moments.
They did in qualification. They certainly didn't optimise their opportunity on the pommel horse. They will need to rectify that. We've already seen Japan make a very solid start, so they'll need to be chasing them if they want to keep in contention.
World Pommel Horse champion Xiao Ruteng will need to deliver. On the still rings, Igor Radivilov, who's one of the most synonymous competitors with this piece of apparatus, will perform for Ukraine. They'll be with the Japanese team. And then on the parallel bars, it is the gymnast from Chinese Taipei, currently placed 6th, and the USA lurking around the podium in 4th position.
Yes, Samuel Mikulak's going up last for the United States of America, scored 14.333 with a fall in the middle of his parallel bars routine in qualification, so he certainly could potentially do very well indeed as their final performer.
It's a very good point, that actually, that 14.333 score. You don't necessarily look at it and think, oh, something must have gone wrong there. But that is a potentially massive number that he can produce.
Yes, he's an excellent all-rounder. Really didn't live up to expectations in the all-around, but he's got another opportunity today, and I'm sure he's going to grasp it.
And what of Great Britain? Can they grasp it with, as Lisa said, some very accomplished vaulters like Dom Cunningham?
Yes, just one vault in the team final. Vaulting final, they have to do 2 different ones, but we're just focusing on the team for now. So it's all over in a matter of seconds. This is Gianni Regini Moran, just warming up his vault. Explosive competitor. He did so well on the junior scene. Had injury and has now come back in the senior level.
It is a joy to see Gianni Regini Moran really making his way through to senior competition. They're the leaders, the Russian Federation. They have half a mark over the People's Republic of China, and they've got just less than half a mark over Japan, who are positioned well in second place. So we've had a little bit of a reversal of some aspects of the qualification order, and it just so happens that this gentleman's rather good at this.
He certainly is, yes. David Baliavsky just warming up. A lovely line, hasn't he? Took the title on this apparatus at the European Games earlier this year, where he also took the all-around title. Experienced now at 27.
Just one of the great stylish gymnasts of the world, isn't he?
Yeah, it's such a shame when he missed out the opportunity in 2017 at the all-around. His final apparatus came up on the high bar.
Now a chance to see what Switzerland are up to. 7th place coming into this second rotation. Always wonderfully supported. And Benjamin Guichard is the gymnast who is going to be vaulting.
And a big vault from him, the 5-2, Tariff. Step forward to control the landing. The opportunity to see it again. Half turn on, lapping into the twists. Focused on the approach. There you see. 1.5 twisting Kazamatsu, or 2.5 twisting Tsukahara. It's the approach, straight in the flight. Forward, exit to the vault, always difficult to land.
Gymnast who is a law student, and he's also the reigning Swiss vault champion. So certainly somebody they will hope to deliver a very good score for them on this piece. 14.333 in qualification. Good to see some of those ear protectors out for young children in the crowd. It's actually a very good decision because it's a very noisy arena. 14.266 for Guichard, so less than a tenth down from his score in qualification. And we'll stick with action on the vault. On the subject of sticking things, can we see exactly that from the British gymnast James Hall? Was an all-around silver medalist for England in the Gold Coast Commonwealth Games last year. 14.066 for his vault in qualifying.
Oh, well, what a landing that was. He smiles. I think he almost surprised himself there. Perfect landing. And Barry Colley greets him as he steps off the podium. The same vault of Benjamin Guichard, lifting up there into the 2.5 twists. Absolute control. Great Britain will be very pleased with that.
What an absolute thunderbolt of a landing that was from James Hall. Well, very interesting to see what the judges make of that from an execution standpoint. Those deductions that begin at 10, or begin from 10 rather. Chinese Taipei are working their way through the parallel bars. This is a look at Tang Chia-hung. 14th strongest in all-around qualification, a great gymnast. He's a student at Taiwan Normal University. It's a large university in Chinese Taipei.
Starts a little Honma hop there, up into the handstand. Healy turn. Under somersault. Trying to avoid any unnecessary extra hand placements. Form is good so far. And the double tuck front to finish. Composed in his performance and clean. No major errors there.
Part of that group of gymnasts from Chinese Taipei who have the most successful ever Asian Games by Chinese Taipei, and he won the horizontal bar gold there as well. We'll see him do that later.
Yes, he qualified with the highest score on that apparatus, but this is his parallel bars exercise. Just a step back there on the dismount, and Yes, consolidating well. They've done such a good job, Chinese Taipei.
Now, just a moment to reflect on China on the pommel horse. Sun Wei scored 14.2. More on that in a moment. 14.666 for James Hall. He's up by over half a mark from qualification. That's a very useful gain indeed for Britain.
Yes, care of the execution in that landing.
Now back to Sun Wei. He scored a 12.9 in the pommel horse in qualification, a 14.2 this time, so much more secure from the People's Republic of China, and we're going to keep looking at them now. No, we're not. Just teasing.
Oh, and the 2.5 twist in Yurchenko from Dom Cunningham of Great Britain. Round up onto the board, backflip on, pushing up, wrapping into the twist, otherwise known as a Schufelt, after the Canadian gymnast Kyle Schufelt.
Oh, there's a gymnast to go and look into if you're new to the sport and want to learn a bit about the history of it.
Yeah, it's very stylish he was as well.
Dom Cunningham, vault bronze medalist at the Gold Coast Commonwealth Games. Now, this is a reminder of Tang Xiaohong on the parallel bars. He scored 13.533. Looking forward to seeing him hopefully on the horizontal bar later. To Zhou Jingyuan, the parallel bars expert who actually showed us all how it was done on the pommel horse in qualification.
Yes, he's so light in his movement, isn't he? So extended. Quickly up into those handstands. And again, look, the hips high. Beautiful line in the circles. A spindle on the end. Rapid hand placements. Triple Russian. Magyar and Shivado. This is good so far. And off he goes. Yes, a beautiful routine from him. Industrious in his approach.
Well, it may well be the People's Republic of China catch the Russian Federation here. Even Stretovich scored a 13.666 for his routine.
Yes, look at this, very clean. That was the dismount. Rapid in his circles, but precise. He had to be at that speed. Such great line.
Now, what of Dom Cunningham on the vault? 14.4, the score for him. Just down a little bit, a few tenths from qualification. Now let's take a moment to catch up with the fourth strongest qualifying nation, Ukraine, who are working their way through the still rings. This is our first opportunity to have a look at Yevgen Yudenkov.
Yes, mounts the rings. Scored 13.666 in qualification. There's the Maltese. Immense upper body strength required there. Shoulders nice and low in the cross so far. Good routine from Yudenkov. Keeping his form in the handstand. And the double rotation in the tuck position. Into the cross. On the straddle planche, all of these strength hold parts so important. Winding up, double twisting, double tuck, and another good performance for the Ukraine.
He's going to be a busy old soul, is Yevgen Yudenkov. He's doing everything, one of two in this competition.
Putting their faith in him. Yeah. Going through those two rotations, the rings have to be really turned in order to do that. Incredible pressure on the shoulders. Kicking into the dismount. Two somersaults with two twists in the tuck position. Just a minor hop on the landing. Now,
after this, we'll just give you a little bit of an update on what's happening. Over on the vault, Gianni Regini Moran, 14.833 for Great Britain. So Great Britain have gained the best part of a mark from qualification on the vault. That's all going in the right direction for them.
Yes, if you can perform vaults well, then it's a great opportunity for some good scores.
And indeed, if you can perform pommel horse well, which he did, 14.683. It's not quite as high as his qualification mark, down by a few tenths, but it's still a very good one indeed. And it puts the pressure on the Russian Federation. It very much puts the pressure on the Russian Federation. Nikita Nagorny scored 14.033 for this in qualification. This was his lowest score.
Oh, nice work. Building the difficulty. Onto one handle. Swinging well. Keeping his rhythm, that's key on this apparatus. Travel backwards. Well, Nikita Nagorny has come ready to perform, and that he did.
We've got ourselves a contest between the Russian Federation and the People's Republic of China. A real contest, and it's looking very close already. And let's not forget Japan as part of that equation too.
Well, going through there, and probably his least favoured apparatus. Doing a very good job indeed. Extended in the circle. And they're keeping the control in the dismount and the pirouettes.
So more vaulting going on, and the Swiss gymnasts with Oliver Heggie.
And 2.5 twists in Yurchenko. Oliver Heggie. Clean lines in the somersault. 5.2, just there, the step out of the area. That has the 0.1 penalty.
For a 14.3 for the reigning Swiss national champion in the all-around competition. And certainly a very important member of their team. They will not be doing all pieces on this occasion because he's also going to be in the all-around competition. So the still rings just being prepared, and prepared for a gentleman who is synonymous with this particular apparatus. But to his teammate first, Yevgen Yudenkov, who scored 13.733, so he's up by just under a tenth from the mark he achieved in qualification. He's having a good solid display as Yudenkov. Nikita Nagorny, 14.166. He's gained about a tenth there, and that will do. Well, already there will be, all over the world, Lisa, a lot of calculators coming out to look at this.
Fingers, toes, everything.
Let's just take a moment, though, to enjoy Igor Radivilov on the still rings.
And he has the physique of a good rings worker, doesn't he? That powerful upper body, and used very effectively there in the Maltese. Just there opening up the hands to show control in the cross. And double pike rotation into the inverted cross, so difficult. There, the planche. Oh, very nicely performed, Igor Radivilov. Stepping up to expectations. Super work on the rings.
Well, it's been very interesting on the rings thus far. Japan have picked up around about 3/4 of a mark on qualification in their first 2 rings routines. So they really have been handling the pressure of the still rings very well indeed. To Xiao Ruoteng, the world champion from last year, who got 13.4 in qualification.
Yes, world champion last year, but it didn't go to plan in qualification, so he'll be wanting to put things right here, and so far this is very nice. Look at the style in the swing. Pencil straight from the shoulders to the toes. Moving into shears, up into the handstand on one handle. Motion along the end. Into the flares, with travel. Well, that was so much better than qualification.
Someone's had a word with this pommel horse, haven't they, in the last couple of days, because it's behaving itself now.
Yes, so many of them fell off in qualification, didn't they? But I don't know whether they've just got used to the environment and perhaps the equipment, or put in a bit of practice, or what the case may be, but certainly that was much, much better. Look at the line. Shoulders staying square. Here, lifting the hips. Flexibility and coordination coming into play. So much going on.
Igor Radivilov picks up a score of 14.566. That'll help Ukraine no end. Fighting a bit of a battle, Ukraine, to remain in contention compared to their qualification place, but they've made a strategic decision to preserve their all-around competitors. So it's all part of a long competition. Yuya Kamoto, a World Championship debutant, now competing on the still rings, but he's won many, many other competitions throughout his career.
He's 25 years of age. His father was a national level gymnast as well. This is into his rings routine. Very nice held cross. Oh, beautiful. Top punch position. Oh, there's the O'Neill. There's 2 rotations in the straight position. Incredibly difficult into the Maltese to bring that swing under control. It's quite something. Jonathan, 2 rotations forward in the pike. Now building to the dismount. Double twist and the double straight. Very nice indeed.
Japan have had a very good session indeed on the still rings. This has gone most well for them.
Yes, it has. Look at this. Keeping that extended position, really having to work the rings round and coming out of it. They're lowering into the Maltese. Unbelievable difficulty. Flat as well, look at that, flat as a pancake. Very good work, and this is a dismount. Most of the gymnasts have been doing it in the tuck position. He goes for the straight. 2 twists, more difficult as you rotate slowly, and nails the landing.
Great addition to their team. Xiao Ruoteng, 14.9 at the pommel horse score. He's up by a mark and a half from qualification. Big number. People's Republic of China provisionally in the lead, though that is with the caveat that we still have another competitor to go for the Russian Federation. Oh, and by the way, it's David Beliavsky.
Yes, he needs to concentrate now, doesn't he? This routine is very important. Very good handstand on one handle. Style in the swing. Keeping it going. I'm almost holding my breath watching. On to one handle. And back again with the Schwado travel. Up and through the pirouette and a clean routine. So there are a couple of moments, I think, in there where he almost lost his rhythm, but he held it together. It will be interesting to see what the judges make of that routine. Scored 14.633 in qualification. Let's take another look. Oh, this was the end of the routine. That was good.
That was good. 14.766 for Yuya Komoto, and Japan have gained well over a mark from qualification in the still rings. They're in second place at the moment. Looking very tidy indeed, Japan on the rings, and just as a team generally they seem to have come out with a sort of whipped up intensity. Now, Sam Mikulak of the USA, very strong score, even with a fall in qualification.
Yes, let's see if he can go through cleanly now, because it's very impressive when he does. There's the Healy. A couple of extra hand placements. Those will incur execution errors, but that was very nice. And the combination into the straddle front. Swinging well there. And the Bavsar rising above the rails. Into the tip out. Double front half turn, beautiful dismount. Well, that was so much better than qualification. and he's pumped.
Well, exactly. And if I'll just be quiet there and let them whoop their way through that, because actually that could be a massive number for the USA, couldn't it?
It could, it could. He had that couple of little hesitant hand movements right at the beginning. I thought, oh no, but he composed himself, he brought it right back. There were only small errors, but there was some very good work in there. That was the error right at the beginning, minor hand placement. They got back on track with some difficult work, well executed, and the United States of America will be very happy with that. Look at that, the somersault with half turn, immediately swinging into that high straddle front. It's a great performer. There's the Bavsar.
Belyavsky's score is 14, and that is not an ideal one for the Russian Federation. It has them in 4th position. They've slipped off the podium, and that's going to be very fascinating indeed when we actually have a look at the leaderboard. It's all rather provisional at the moment, because we've got to see what happens with this routine from Sam Mikulak. And that could put the USA very much in the mix. They might well be actually in a podium position, the USA. Yes, 15.2, and they are. The USA have gone into the bronze medal position. Great Britain were there for a matter of seconds and have dropped down. Oh, I say.
It's interesting, that fabulous routine there for Sam Mikulak. He had those couple of little minor errors at the beginning, but didn't he bring it back with a 6.4 difficulty?
The big mover, the Russian Federation, down 4 to 5th place. China up 2 to 1st place. Japan holding firm. USA and Great Britain up 1 each. So it's China, Japan and the USA, the 1, 2 and 3 at the 1/3 mark of the competition. Just get the sense, don't we, that a little bit more narrative is to develop.
Well, Ollie, there's just 1.4 or so between all top 5 teams. Do you think a whole mark is lost with just one fall? It's still very open.
And every single routine counts. It seems like the right time to remind you of that. Great Britain, the nation in 4th place at the moment. The the silver medalist, excuse me, from 2015, head to the parallel bars to be joined by Switzerland, who have themselves had World Championship success. They won 2 gold medals in the men's team competition in 1934 and 1950. And they were silver medalists in 1938 and bronze medalists in 1954. Okay, it's been a while, but they've got a very tidy and tight team. As for the USA, they're currently in a bronze medal position, which they took back in 2011 and 2014. They also took one in 1979 and won a couple of silvers just over a decade ago in 2001 and 2003. So promising indeed, the United States of America, with a Chinese Taipei team who are in 6th position. Japan are currently in the silver medal position. I must correct myself, Chinese Taipei are 7th, not 6th. They've dropped down a place. As I was saying, Japan are in the silver medal position, and they're vaulting alongside Ukraine, who are down in 8th place, as we rather suspected would happen. And over to the still rings, where the People's Republic of China now lead the way, and the Russian Federation are 5th.
Yes, but they have Denis Abliazin who will be performing. He's made the rings final and bronze medalist in 2016, so expect a big score from him.
Last opportunities for warm-up for these gymnasts. The still rings are fascinating apparatus to watch, particularly spectacular in the arena itself, especially if you're sitting right at a 90-degree angle or right in front of them. The People's Republic of China are the leaders at the moment, and we call them the still rings. There are indeed still swinging rings practiced in some parts of the world, particularly in parts of Europe.
Yes, I think the clue is in the word there, still, and that's what they're trying to keep them. If you see the cables moving a lot, that's when they'll be taking deductions. So the idea is to do the swinging elements, to do the strength elements, to do the hold elements, but keep the rings and the cables as static as possible.
And the problem can be, can't it, Lisa, that when the rings start to misbehave, when you get a little bit of yawing in the rings, then to stop that is so hard.
Yes, it really is, because with most apparatus, as you push against the parallel bars or the high bar, you move in the opposite direction because they're static. But if you put a force on the rings, that's going to move as well. So it's all down to practice control and the muscular strength to coordinate that into a good routine.
And therefore, presumably requires an entirely different approach to the training process.
Well, that's why we see so many with the very strong upper bodies, those ring specialists, because it takes hours and hours of practice to keep those rings still and master those strength elements.
On the subject of hours and hours of practice, that was the reigning Asian Games champion on the horizontal bar, Tang Chia-hung, the top qualifier for the final. He's just a wonderful, exciting competitor on that piece, and we'll do our level best to give you a little glimpse at his work.
Yes, very exciting on there, and he'll be the final performer in this rotation on the high bar. But it looks like we're focusing mainly on the rings at the moment. You can see that all-important chalk being applied. Big team effort.
Team competition, not just in the mechanics and mathematics of it, but in the way the gymnasts actually support each other around the field of play as well, the discussions they have with each other and with their coaches. And it is going to be Nikita Nagorny to begin the process. He was the all-around bronze medalist at the last World Championships, but then won the European Championship title in Szczecin in Poland in April. Had a magnificent, magnificent performance.
Yes, I think when we come to the all-around competition, there may be a bit of rivalry between the Russian gymnasts, but at the moment it's about pulling together.
Nikita Nagorny takes to the still rings.
Getting his grip just right before he begins, and they're turning the rings out. See how they rotate there. Beautiful Maltese, extended right the way through to the toes. Just squeezed together, and again, dropping into the cross. Palms open. There's the combination. Jonathan and the Yamawaki into the cross again. Controlling the straddle planche position. And a big kick into the dismount. Well, it's 3 out of 3 for Nagorny.
Well, they're playing catch-up at the moment, the Russian Federation, in quite a big way, but he will be personally very pleased with that performance.
Yes, they're kicking into the dismount, wrapping into those twists. Just a minor hop on the landing, but a good routine from him. Facial expression. Interesting, he's thinking, I wonder what the judges will make of it.
Need them to make some very good numbers out of it, because they are down at the moment, very much down. And Japan are vaulting as well, which is worth bearing in mind. Akash Modi, the United States of America, on the horizontal bar. The team currently in the bronze medal position. Big rotation this for them.
Yes, well, he was consistent on all apparatus except this in qualification. There's the straight Kachev, straddle Kachev to mixed grip. Straddle Kachev, and the straight to mixed grip. So all the Kachev groups of skills, but each one's slightly different. They have to be to count. The L grip, stoop in and out. Now winding up to the dismount, double twisting, double straight. Well, no problem today on the horizontal bar for Akash Modi. Great job.
That is very good indeed for the USA. 12.166 was his qualification score. It's going to be significantly better than that.
Yes, as we said, he did 5 apparatus so well, but fell in qualification, but stayed on today and was a very clean routine for him. He punches the air, put things right.
Nagorny, 14.533 is his score, so he's up by just over a tenth from the qualification mark. Japan are vaulting. So far, they've looked very good. Here's Kazumakaya.
Yes, again. 2.5 twists off the top. Determined approach, wrapping into the twist. Just a little hop, the 5.2, the difficulty value. He's happy.
He scored 14.141. Kaya doesn't have necessarily quite as big a vault as some of his other leading all-around competitors, but he has got the security of execution.
Yes, interesting to know whether to go for the difficulty in these team finals or whether to play it a little bit safer and maybe just reduce the routine slightly. Very strategic.
The parallel bars featuring Switzerland, and Christian Baumann, a real specialist on this piece. He's been a European Championship medalist on the parallel bars.
He's made a good start so far. Clean. More towards the end. Now the Bavsar. And the tip out. So far he's executed this very well. And the double front half to finish, just a hop on landing, but a strong routine from Baumann, who scored 14.566 in qualification.
What we expect, isn't it, from a gymnast of his calibre, the 25-year-old from Leutville. A lovely tiny medieval village in the north of Switzerland.
Yes, represented Switzerland at the Rio Olympics. I'm sure he's building on all of that experience here. That was the Honma hop, up into the handstand position. Nice form in his routine, keeping the feet locked together in the handstand. And there, difficult double front half to finish the exercise.
Now it's going better and better for Japan on the vault. I'll give you an update on that in a little while, but they're looking very tidy indeed. So the Russian Federation are very much playing catch-up now, and here is Artur Dalaloyan to do so on the rings, and he scored 14.133 in qualification for this piece.
Beautifully flat, stylish Maltese. And again, every muscle fibre engaged. Jonathan Yamawaki into the cross. Extended through the shoulders in the handstand. Oh, very nice dismount as well from Dalaloyan. The two clean routines for the Russian Federation.
It's still too soon to tell, isn't it?
It really is, when we're looking at not just tenths or hundredths, but this is excellent work, linking the combination of skills together. That's how they add to the difficulty value. And look at that, that's across there.
Now this should be a big improvement, really is. 14.016 for Akash Modi, and that's a great score for the team that was sitting in third place coming into this rotation. For Baumann, 13.9, not quite as highly as he scored in the qualification process. Switzerland provisionally in 7th place in the rankings. But what can Great Britain do? They came into this rotation placed 4th. We'll come back and have a glance at them in a moment. Also have got the prospect of some exciting horizontal bar work to come from the United States of America. Take your pick, really. At the moment, we're in a stage of the competition where just about everywhere you look, there's a team that could get into this. And that's what makes the job of our director an absolutely unenviable one, actually, because quite where you go when a competition is this unpredictable and this finely poised at the moment, well, that is anyone's guess, really. But anything we do miss, we'll try to keep you updated on, try to give you a sense of the numbers. Now, in terms of one of those numbers, Daiki Hashimoto scored 14.9 on the vault for Japan, so he's up by just over a tenth from qualifying. Very impressive indeed. Wataru Tanegawa has also produced a bit of a belter, 14.833. Now, Igor Radivilov, he produces belters all the time on the vault.
Yes, expect something big here. Such an accomplished performer on the vault. Oh, beautiful handspring double front half twist, the Dragulescu, a 5.6 and easily round. That's a superb vault from Radivilov. They're pulling tight into the tuck, 2.5 rotations from the top of the vault onto the floor with a half twist. Very good indeed.
The Olympic bronze medalist at the Games in London in 2012. And whilst we're in that general neck of the woods in our thoughts, let's have a look at the British team over on the parallel bars, if Gianni Regini Moran gets the go-ahead to get things moving. Gymnast, who's had such a rough old spell with injury, missed over a year, and it was a very unpleasant injury that he unfortunately suffered. And he said, did he not, that he was done. He just thought about walking away. He said he really found it hard to think that there was a future for him in the sport, and he's proven that his place in the British national gymnastics team is a very important one. He's shown the most incredible spirit.
Yes, the 2016 Junior European all-around and floor champion. Such promising gymnast and has had to overcome adversity. I'm delighted to be making his senior debut here.
Artur Dalaloyan scores a 14.666. The Russian Federation currently sitting in third position. And here we get underway with Gianni Regini Moran.
A strong performance so far. Out onto one rail. High in the straddle front somersault. Very nice Bavzar. A lot of air time, looking for the height above the rails with the body there as they re-grasp. And the tip out, it's going a lot better than it did in qualification. Healy turn. Diamondov, just one extra hand placement. And the double front half, a good routine from Gianni Regini Moran.
Well, that's night and day compared to qualification, 13.066.
Yes, he had some issues in qualification, but a much steadier performance. Perhaps the nerves just calmed down a little bit. Let's take another look at him in action. Yeah. Diamondov keeping focus. That was just the right hand. Had to be readjusted. There will be an execution error for that. But pulling tight into the tuck, the double front half turn. And puff of the cheek. It's a relief to get it through and over with.
Radivilov scores 14.733 for the vault. Ukraine are in second place because they've had more performances so far than other nations, so that is a touch of a red herring. Russian Federation have gone nicely on the still rings, and when your final competitor is this man, Denis Abliazin, well, what a luxury to have. What a master. A five-time Olympic medalist and still rings expert.
Yes, look at those biceps. Using them very effectively. Lovely Maltese. See the V shape of the upper body down to the waist. All of those upper body muscles. And trained so hard. Difficult combination. Up into the handstand. Keeping his form. And a very nice double twisting, double straight, just the step back. We would have liked to have avoided that extra little penalty on the dismount, but a very good routine nonetheless.
Yes, that noticeable pace back as he landed what otherwise was looking very impressive.
He is an impressive gymnast on this apparatus. You don't get many of these team members. We have many individuals that have made the rings final from other nations that are specialists. Here, wrapping into the two twists in the straight shape, just that pace. Been a little bit disappointed with that because every 10th matters.
Gianni Regini Moran scores 13.933, a gain of almost a mark from his qualification display.
That's much better.
Now let's have a look at this impressive bit of work from Daiki Hashimoto from several minutes ago.
Oh, very nice vault from him. Youngster accelerating on the run up, pushing up, wrapping into those twists. Yes, just I think within the lines there.
Bet the pupils of Funabashi Municipal High School are watching and loving this 14.9 for the 18-year-old. Very good vault indeed. Well, there will be a lot of American fans right now very nervous indeed, because if they get the sort of performance on the horizontal bar that this man delivered in qualification and that he delivered on the parallel bars, then they are in contention Sam Mikulak.
Bronze medalist on this apparatus at last year's World Championships. He has the pedigree to do well. And that's a very nice Casina to start. That full twisting straight Kovac over the bar, and the same in the tuck position, the Coleman. Straight Kachev. Straddle Kachev. Straddle Kachev to mix. That's 4, 5 even very difficult release elements, and the one-armed. This is going very well indeed so far. Hop full. Stolder. Packing it all into this routine and finishing very nicely with a double twisting, double straight. Sensational work from Mikulak.
Well, if USA were sleepy at points in qualification, they've had about 10 cups of coffee now, because they are alive and kicking in this team final.
Yes. Super work, isn't it? Look at this. He swings so well, and he doesn't play it safe. He put in all the difficulty. That was a superb dismount from Mikulak, who was the second highest qualifier on this apparatus, 14.866.
Denis Abliazin scores 14.533, and he's almost a 10th down from qualification. Not a huge amount, but we'll see just what impact it has. Zhou Jingyuan of the People's Republic of China, now competing on the still rings.
Just settling into his start position. The inverted cross to begin the exercise. Into the Maltese. Beautifully controlled. Such a composed performer. Small gymnast, but it's all about strength to weight ratio. And he's incredibly strong. Look at that, dropping down from the planche into the Maltese. And again, the cross. Double twisting, double tuck to finish. A very nice routine from Zhou Jingyuan.
Well, it may well be that the People's Republic of China fall behind Japan because of their vaulting at the end of this, but he certainly managed to get them close.
Yes, look at that. Great work. Possibly not as difficult as Abliazin, but lovely execution. A 14.3 in qualification.
Yes, it's going to be interesting to see how close this is. Oh, it's very close. 14.5. Abliazin 14.533.
Yes. Super execution, 8.7 for that routine.
Now, how big is this going to be? Both in number and in prospect. 14.666 for Sam Mikulak. United States of America in 5th position. So as things stand, they just dropped down a fraction. But it's going to be very close indeed when we look at the leaderboard, particularly when we look at 1st and 2nd place. Still some more routines to be completed, and Switzerland have now, stepping up to the parallel bars, Pablo Brega, who's the 9th strongest in qualification for the all-around competition. He was also a good performer in the all-around at the Olympics.
Yes, and has had some great results on this apparatus in the past. Unusual mount, starting with his back to the apparatus. Wow. Well, he seemed to have an issue there at the beginning, but back into it now with the Honma. Tiamadov. Nice work. Double front half. Very good dismount.
7th time that we've seen Pablo Brega competing at the World Championships. The all-around silver medalist in last month's Swiss National Championships as well. It's been a big fixture for them for so many years.
Look at this again. That's where he slipped, wasn't it? His left hand should have gone to support, but ended up going to an upper arm position. There'll be a penalty for that, which was a shame. No problem with this. The Hummer up into that straddle cut and into the handstand. And driving his feet up into the double front rotation with the half turn. A good dismount from him.
Wataru Tanegawa next to vault for Japan.
Oh, and it was a huge handspring, double pike front.
They certainly think they're in this race, and who can argue?
Yes, he meant business, didn't he? Drives the heels up. Look at those rotations. A pike position, more difficult than the tuck, and just a hop forward, lots of slides, and he was very happy.
As he will be by that score, 14.833 for Wataru Tanegawa, and Japan are indeed in the lead. They are not by much, though. We'll see just by how little in a short while. Pablo Brega, 13.833 for the Swiss gymnast. Switzerland are in 6th position in the standings. Well, we're going to give you those standings in just a moment. And indeed, here they are. So it's Japan, just over a couple of tenths ahead of the People's Republic of China. Russia back up onto the podium. They're now in 3rd place, with the USA having dropped down below Great Britain a couple of places to 5th position. Ukraine and Chinese Taipei having a bit of a switch around at the lower end of the leaderboard, with Switzerland non-movers.
Well, every single rotation, the nations swap over, don't they?
Lisa's just glanced sideways at me with a look on her face that says, what on earth are we supposed to do with all of this? What does it even mean at this stage of the competition?
This is the halfway point. Still got 3 rotations to go.
What it does mean is Japan are definitely in this. They are most certainly performing to a higher standard than they did in qualification.
Yes, they put in some fabulous performances there, didn't they, on vault, and now they move over to the parallel bars.
They were the champions in 2015. They also won 5 consecutive titles from 1962 through to 1978, the Japanese team. Now, Chinese Taipei are on the floor exercise, and just to give you an update about the fantastic horizontal bar work of Tang Xiaohong. He scored 14.916, which from his perspective, thinking about the all-around and thinking about the apparatus final, is great because he's really consistent.
He is. He's performed 2 routines now, really world-class performances, and he must be one of the favourites, if not the favourite, for the high bar title.
Yes. A couple of Chinese Taipei gymnasts will be apparatus favourites. Li Chi-kai as well for the pommel horse. Meanwhile, it was parallel bars there just a moment ago for Japan and Ukraine. Now, Great Britain on the horizontal bar. They are currently in 4th place in the standing. This is going to be a very key apparatus for them.
It is, and led off by Max Whitlock. We'll be seeing him for the first time, of course, renowned for his pommel horse work and Olympic champion on the floor as well. Not performing on floor at these World Championships, but great to see him back on the other apparatus. We saw him on parallel bars in qualification, but not in this team final.
Now here's a chance for these 2 nations to pull a little bit further away at the top of the leaderboard. The opportunity for the People's Republic of China and the Russian Federation to push beyond Japan, who've already done their vaulting, and they've certainly got the scores, particularly Russia.
Yes, they have. They have the difficulty on vault. They have some very explosive vaulters, and it will all come down to those landings, I'm sure, in the end.
We haven't had the opportunity so far in this competition to see a gymnast who we'll see a lot more of when it comes to the all-around. The very impressive and really developing gymnast Petro Patniuk of Ukraine, who was warming up on the parallel bars, 6th strongest qualifier for the all-around.
Yes, and the second highest qualifier on the parallel bars, so he's got 15.033.
Same score actually as Lucas Dowser, but just a little down on the execution, so that's going to be a great final.
Yeah, very exciting. Look forward to that.
And it's been wonderful to have your company wherever you're watching the competition from across the world. Ollie Hogben here and Dr. Lisa Gannon bringing you all of the action from the city of Stuttgart, and we'll be doing so for many more days yet, because this is only the second of our 14 medal events. Okay, most of them do come at the weekend in the apparatus finals, but we have 10 medal events over a 2-day period. But we've still got both all-around competitions to come, and the rest of this fascinating team final that sees the Russian Federation currently in 3rd position. Well, what it would mean to them. They can do it. They can finally win it for the first time.
They were so close to the People's Republic of China, weren't they, last year in Doha? And it all went down to that final routine. I suspect it will be a very similar case this year.
All indications are that it will be. At the moment, the People's Republic of China have about a mark or so over the Russian Federation. They sit behind Japan, but only by a couple of tenths. And this is now their chance to do something about that, courtesy of the vault. So it may well be that we see Japan, who are now performing on the parallel bars, just drift a little bit down the standings right now. Xiao Ruoteng is the first gymnast to vault for the People's Republic of China, the reigning and indeed defending champions.
Oh, well, he went for a very difficult vault, the 5.6. That's triple twist off the top. He stayed on his feet, but it was a deep landing, wasn't it? Let's take a look. He has such a leisurely stroll and gets so much flight, but there he had to take a big pace forward to prevent him putting his hands down. So there will be some deductions in terms of execution. So many twists there, very difficult. And see what the judges make of it. 2017 all-around world champion.
That was very close indeed to a hand going down, and he managed with incredible strength with that leg compression to actually stay on his feet.
Yes. Well, there's a thumbs up, but he knows it could have been better. Superb difficulty.
His qualification mark was 14.766. And this is going to be, one suspects, a little bit shy of that. It is 14.333 for Xiao Ruoteng, so not quite the start they were hoping for, the People's Republic of China. Now what can this gymnast do? Russian Federation with Ivan Stretovic, who scored 14.266 for his qualification vault.
Yes, and he's going for the same vault Xiao Ruoteng, but with half a twist less. So he comes out facing forward and lands it very well indeed. Good execution, so that's that risk versus reward. 0.4 less in terms of difficulty, but better execution. Let's see, half turn on, wrapping in the 2.5 twists, and just that little right foot moving forward, but he knows it was good.
Yes, they were very different vaults, weren't they, these last two, in terms of their execution.
Yes. Flight, good form in the air, lots of lift. Steady job for the Russian Federation.
The United States of America, currently in 5th place coming into this rotation. Here is Yul Moldauer, the 23-year-old gymnast who's qualified 11th in the all-around and has been a world medalist here.
Yes, he has, renowned for his floor work and starting strongly. Working right into the corner there, avoiding any penalties of exceeding the area. That was very nice. Half turn in, half turn out. rapid flares with spindles, up to handstand and back down again. Working with intent. Oh, very nice combination. Oh, right on the edge of the floor. Everybody's just hoping he stays within it, and so far he has. A big triple twist to finish. Super work from Yul Moldauer.
He's going to be a fascinating presence in the all-around competition, and he certainly believes, based on that reaction, the USA are in the mix, and they are.
And they are, certainly. Let's take another look at him. He worked with pace, didn't he, around the floor. Here, lifting up into the triple twist. Very nicely round. Good spatial awareness, opening out in time for the landing.
Stredovic, 14.4, so his decision to go for execution over difficulty paid off. It's a better vault than the one we just saw from the People's Republic of China.
9.2 the execution score, very good.
Now, meanwhile, Japan, the nation leading the way coming into this rotation, are competing on the parallel bars with Kazuma Kaya, who scored a 14.8 and qualifying for the apparatus final in qualification.
Clean lines. In the straddle front to upper arm. And the Babsar. Light in the hand placements, that's the tip out. Out onto one rail. Sweep through and up to handstand again. Double front, half turn, nails the landing. Great work from the 22-year-old.
He is a big occasion player.
He does seem to be rising to the occasion, doesn't he? Certainly he's up for the challenge. And this was very nice indeed. The dismount, so difficult to land, but he managed it very well indeed, and that's what it means.
It's going to be a battle for Japan to hold on to their lead because of the other two nations vaulting. Yul Moldauer scores a 14.4 for the floor exercise. Now, over to the horizontal bar, where a moment ago, Max Whitlock scored 13.066 for Great Britain, so down by around about half a mark from his qualification performance, so that will be interesting to see for the British team. But on the subject of people interesting, Oliver Heggie.
Yes, tall gymnast, nice line on this apparatus. Oh, and that was very nice, the deft, the full twisting Ginga somersault. Don't see many of those. And there's a Coleman. Great versatility in his release elements. Hop over the bar. There's the L grip. Extension through the shoulders. Building to his dismount. A full twisted double straight somersault from Oliver Heggie. Great work for Switzerland.
The 2018 European champion on the horizontal bar. Oh, the noise when he absolutely slammed that full twisting Ginga. Well, you'd expect it to be deafening, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's a great work from him. Let's have a look again. There, the dismount, 2 somersaults with the full twist. Controlled, precise work.
Kazumakaya, 14.833. Just a little bit of an improvement from qualification. It'll do nicely. Japan in a provisional 4th place.
And now on floor exercise, representing the United States of America,
Artur Dalaloyan.
He had the 2nd highest score in qualification, producing a huge 15.133. Can he do it again? Well, it's a huge vault. Handspring, double front in the pike position, beautifully executed, just the step on the landing. Power and style, look at that, pulling in so tight to complete those rotations.
It appears he can do it again, yes.
Yes. Possibly not quite the landing he had in qualification, but super style, look at that. Beautiful height off the top. It's another great vault from Dalaloyan.
Yes, can he get close to that 15.133? Hegi scores a 14.6, a very good score that for the Swiss. Switzerland are up in 3rd position. There's still a lot of routines to go for various nations. So we will go back to have a look at Japan competing on the parallel bars. And their very experienced, but nonetheless debutant in the World Championships, Yuya Kamoto, the Youth Olympic Games all-around champion from Singapore in 2010, and Kamoto scored 14.7 for this display in the qualification process.
Yes, had a very high difficulty value of 6.5. So he'll want to match that difficulty with execution here to keep Japan in contention. There's those upper arm supports to protect his arms. Well, slight loss of form there. You can see the softening in the back. Judges will notice that. High in the straddle front to upper arms though. That was good. Gliding through the Babzat.
and now on floor exercise, representing Chinese Taipei,
There's the Healy. And the double front with half turn, solid dismount, good control. There were some issues at the beginning, but he recovered very well indeed.
Yes, it will be fascinating to see just how costly those issues at the beginning turn out to be when the score comes in.
Yes. Here you see upper arm work there. And there you just had to use a little bit of strength. Should all really be swing if possible on the parallel bars. And this was the conclusion. Pulling in tight into the tuck with a half turn. Just a little low, but he managed to contain himself, clips the heels together.
Artur Dalaloyan, 14.966, so just a couple of tenths down from qualification. Russian Federation are currently in 2nd place. China have the advantage. Deng Shudi.
Oh, and a nice vault from him. Punches the air, he's very happy. Look at that determination. Accelerates, feet locked together, beautiful form in the air, 3 twists, and the score 14.8.
Well, when you consider that that's over a mark up on what he did in qualification, it's rather a microcosm for this fascinating final where we are seeing routine after routine absolutely delivered. Things are being hit in a big way.
Yes, a substantial improvement from qualification.
Pablo Brega is next to the horizontal bar for the Swiss team after his teammate Oliver Hegi looked very good.
Big Casina. And the Coleman. Ooh, but no. Caught. He lost his rhythm on the swing coming out of the Coleman, so he's had to readjust. Now he's back into it. Straight Kachev. Straddle Kachev to mix. That was nice. Loop in and out with the pirouette. Within the 5 degrees of the vertical. That's what the judges are looking for. And the straddle Kachev. Again, another gymnast really going for the difficulty. Single twisting, double straight, just a pace back. A shame about the beginning there. Coming out the Coleman, he lost his momentum. I don't know if we get the opportunity to see that again. Here we are. You see, his arms were bent and he dropped to a full hang and he wasn't able to continue with the swing around the bar.
Certainly everyone is going for big difficulty. They need to in this competition. Kamoto scores 14.133. Now that's a drop of over half a mark from qualifying.
Yes, you see the huge difficulty, 6.5, but he did have those execution issues.
Well, in terms of what relationship something from qualification might have to the real thing, we head across to Sam Mikulak. This was a routine in qualification that scored 11.533. Hold your breath, American fans. He's performing well so far today.
A double pike to start. Oh, and that's where he had problems in qualification. Managed it very well indeed today. Far more composed, Sam Mikulak so far. Very nice. Flares the spindles up to handstand and back again. And again, beautifully controlled in the combination. And the triple twist to finish. What a different gymnast we're seeing here today in this team final.
Absolute transformation. Sam Mikulak has produced a stellar display. There we go.
Yeah. There we go, he says. About time. He knew he could do it.
He's been waiting for a while to get back out and do it again.
He put everybody through it in qualification, but so far this has been very good. Look at that. 1.5 twist, full twist combination. And the difference comes in the control of the landing.
Pablo Brega with a score of 13. He's paying the price for that difficult moment after the first release and regrasp. That's got some good difficulty to his work though, 6.2. Well, we're not far away from the conclusion of this fourth rotation. Great Britain on the horizontal bar. James Hall had a 13.916, so down by just over a tenth from qualification. So what that does in terms of Great Britain being in and around the race, we'll find out in a little while. They've still got another competitor to go on the horizontal bar. Japan also have likewise on the parallel bars. It's a bit of a race to see who we're going to get first. But Sam Mikulak has delivered 14.666 on the floor, and the USA are in the bronze medal position.
Gosh, what a difference from qualification.
And what we're seeing here is a gymnast who's in all-around contention if he does this in the final. Joe Fraser of Great Britain now, the final competitor for them on the horizontal bar.
Yes. Joe with his routine here. Straight Kachev, straddle Kachev. And there's a Casina. He came off in qualification. Has mastered it this time round. Nope. Oh! Well, this time it was the Coleman.
Well, that may be of pretty significant impact in the overall standings. There's great difficulty to this work, isn't there?
There certainly is. It's literally millimetres trying to get the dowel of the handguard over the top of the bar. And that's a 1 mark deduction. And when we know everything is so close between the teams, that will be expensive for Great Britain. One-arm giant work. Stolder. Needs to finish this neatly now. Double twisting, double straight, a nice dismount, but there's no avoiding the fall.
He does finish very well indeed. It's muted celebrations from the British team though, because, as Lisa quite correctly says, that fall is going to be a full mark deduction. Kakeru Tanegawa, well, we haven't had the chance to see him really a great deal so far in this team competition. He was the 40th strongest in the all-around. It really didn't go his way. They need it to now on the parallel bars.
Yes. This is his second World Championships, part of the bronze medal winning team last year. And the straddle front somersault, every skill being cheered on by his teammates. Hop half. Moving out to the end of the rails. Pairing the Babzar. Successfully completed. Up to the handstand, a good routine so far. And again, that double front half turn, a little readjustment on the landing. 14.633, the scoring qualification. What will it be today?
Well, one suspects this will be quite convincingly good enough for Japan to go back above the USA onto the podium. Need a 12-point something to do that.
Yeah, kicking out into the dismount there, almost the hand against the parallel bars to steady himself at the end.
Joe Fraser, 12.666. Great Britain in 4th position, but a bit of a gap is starting to develop between the top few nations and the chasing peloton. Nikita Nagorny to vault.
And a beautiful Dragonescu handspring double front half turn, and so convincing in the landing. Assured performer, talented performer, great all-rounder.
What can you say? That's how you vault. 15.066. Nikita Nagorny. Excuse me. Russian Federation are making their way back up to challenge. Kakeru Tanegawa scores 14.366. A parallel bars routine for him. Japan are in the silver medal position.
Well, another fascinating rotation there. And as we predicted, it's going to be close between the teams. I'm sure you all have your favourites.
So the People's Republic of China, with a third of the competition left, are back into the lead. Japan are in second place. The Russian Federation, non-movers in the bronze medal position. USA and Great Britain have exchanged places, as have Ukraine and Switzerland. Chinese Taipei are about 10 marks off the pace, down in 8th place. Wow, very exciting, very interesting to see which way this is going to go, because the gap between the People's Republic of China and Japan is 4/10.
Yes, less than a mark between the top three at the moment. And as we say, one fall can make the difference between these three nations.
What we have started to see is a gap that is appearing between the Russian Federation and the USA. a gap of only a couple of marks, but that is quite significant at this stage. And then we've got the same sort of gap. It's a 3+ mark gap between the USA in 4th and Great Britain in 5th place. So maybe, just maybe, we're in that part of the race now where the leaders can start to pull away a touch. And there are the leaders.
Yes. The People's Republic of China and the Russian Federation will be on the parallel bars in this rotation, and People's Republic of China will be desperate to defend their title.
And make it 8 out of 9 titles. How remarkable it would be if they could do just that. Japan have won a title very recently, 2015. The other 5 they won were all clustered together some time ago, but they're in the race, definitely. Are Great Britain still in the race for the podium? It's going to be a little bit tricky now for them to push back up there with Switzerland on the floor exercise. This is the penultimate rotation. Now, what Great Britain do have, though, is Max Whitlock to finish on the pommel horse. So if it does get close at the end, that's very useful. Now, sorry, I was just going to say there, because of what we saw in the warm-up, the USA didn't have it all their own way here.
No, they didn't. Pommel horse was a particularly precarious apparatus for them in qualification. As we saw on floor, Sam McCuna making good some of those errors. He'll be wanting to do the same on pommel horse today.
Nikita Nagorny and Lin Xiaopan will begin for their respective nations on the parallel bars. Such an interesting thing, the way this team competition works. You've got the 2 nations that are currently in 1st and 3rd place, really battling side by side. And then you have this team that's just kind of getting on with it in their own way, because they're fighting a very different race from Ukraine's race alongside them.
They are, and of course it's the first time they've been without Uchimura, without Kenzo Shirai. It was a little bit of a unknown in terms of who they were bringing and what they might bring to the table here at these team results, and they're certainly delivering.
So it's a bronze medal position at the moment for the Russian Federation. Parallel bars and horizontal bar still to come for them. Japan do still have the floor exercise where Kazuma Kaya is rather marvellous. Some horizontal bar action for the gymnasts from Ukraine. Chinese Taipei are attacking the pommel horse, and they have one of the finest practitioners of the pommel horse in the whole world, Li Chi-kai.
Yes, in fact, they have 2 pommel horse finalists in their team in this rotation, so expect some good scores there. Meanwhile, this team have the reigning parallel bars champion, Su Jingquan, who will be performing as the final gymnast in this rotation.
There's the man. Such high hopes they have for Li Chi-kai. Market Kai, he's known as, from what we discovered about him in that film Jump Boys.
Wherever you look, there's super talent around the arena. It's difficult to know where to watch.
But you were right there, Lisa, to mention Xiao Yu-Jan as well, competing in the pommel horse for Chinese Taipei. 19-year-old's a very good master of that particular apparatus. Well, it's Kazuma Kaya. He's the one they're really calling upon at the moment. He has belief. He certainly has the skill. Can he hold on here as Japan compete on the horizontal bar? The nation currently in the silver medal position, and he's working through every moment of that routine in his head right now. It is Kazuma Kaya, who's scored 14.066 in qualification.
Yes, doing the mental preparation before he mounts the apparatus. Up over into mixed. Coming out right in the vertical there. Good start. There's the Kachev in the straight position. And the same in the straddle to mixed grip, turning out. Maintaining his swing, maintaining his style so far. Difficult work there. The swings extending through the shoulders. Stoop through, out in that stand position with full turn. Hop full. And a nail dismount. Well, it means the world. Clearly, he's delighted.
Oh, this man is getting better and better and better as a gymnast.
Let's have another look at him in action. Here's that straddle catch up to mixed grip. So difficult to keep going, joining the feet together to move into his giant swing. Here, stooping through. Look at the extension through the shoulders in the check swings. Very difficult, and having to time it well to be able to come out properly. Flexibility required. Kicking up into the dismount. Beautiful work.
Everybody needs a leader. Every team needs somebody to get them fired up. And it is him. Utterly calm now. It's a most wonderful contrast, isn't it? A sort of slightly casual swig of some refreshment, and now just waiting for the score to come in. But there is most definitely a three-team race for first place going on. James Hall of Great Britain has opened up with a 14.2 for his floor performance. That's a little bit of an improvement from qualification, but pretty well consistent. Nikita Nagorny. Parallel bars for the Russian Federation. Here we go.
Yeah, Nagorny just outside the finalists on this apparatus for qualification with the 9th highest score, but beautiful control there on one rail. And again, composure. Yamadov. Look at that, linking the skills together, building the difficulty. Double front, half turn, superb performance. He takes it in his stride.
It was the most gloriously effortless looking float down to earth, wasn't it, that dismount?
It was. He went through that as though it was another day at the office. And didn't show any signs of nerves whatsoever.
Neither did he, and he's improved upon the qualification score just by a little. 14.225 for Kazamakai, up by just over a tenth. Little gains here and there could make an enormous difference. It's been a very strong team final indeed. People have been landing dismounts. They've not been taking many paces here and there. They've been staying on the apparatus. The full mark deductions have been few and far between. It has been glorious entertainment.
Yes, interesting, the 3 up 3 to count format. And you may have thought that we'd have had more errors, and yet they've really consolidated when we compare to qualification.
Lovely crowd in here as well. They have provided a superb atmosphere throughout this competition. United States of America competing on the pommel horse. This was troublesome for them in qualification. Here's Akash Modi.
Spindle on the end. Working very quickly in the circles. There's a travel forwards and backwards. And the pirouette finish. Well, it was a pacey routine. He was keen to get through it swiftly, and he did it very well indeed.
Certainly looked better than in qualification. Judges may well concur with that.
Well, he was clean in qualification, and again today, he's been consistent, hasn't he?
Yes, 13.9. Modi gains the best part of half a mark there. Nikita Nagorny, oh, 15.3 on the parallel bars.
It's a huge score. I think the best we've seen so far on that apparatus.
It's absolutely enormous, and in terms of what's happening here on the horizontal bar with Japan, that has rocketed the Russian Federation into a leading position at the moment.
Yeah, it's really producing when it matters. Nikita Nagorny, he's been so impressive so far.
And doesn't a lot now rest on the teenager from Chiba Prefecture, Daiki Hashimoto. A new senior gymnast, a new World Championship gymnast. What we've seen of him so far has been magnificent. This is the big moment, though, for the youngster.
Yes, well, his score on horizontal bar has already earned him a place in the final. Let's see what he can produce right now. And there, the Casina swings nicely out of it. And the Coleman. Straight Kachev. 3 releases already. And a 4th. Now possibly slightly not quite in the vertical position. Haven't got the best angle to see that. The judges will, though. Double twisting, double straight, super work by Hashimoto. He didn't crack under pressure. Well done to him.
Well, it's easy to see why at a very prestigious competition called the NHK Cup earlier this year, he was the leading execution scorer in the whole event.
Yes, apparently he's obsessed with practice, and practice pays off, doesn't it? And it did there. That was the Coleman. Feet locked together, beautiful line, double twist, 2 somersaults. Super routine for Japan.
There is a gymnast to remember for the future. Now, the Russian Federation have performed extremely well so far on the parallel bars. Dom Cunningham of Great Britain, a 14.466 on the floor for him. He'll be participating in the aforementioned floor final. So this is now Artur Dalaloya.
Yes. Such beautiful ankle extension, but sort of waver on the end there. Oh, so high in the Babsat. Straddle front somersault to upper arms. Healy. Light in the Honma, keeping his form throughout. Hop off and builds up into the double tuck half turn. Well, he's nailed the dismount. That was fantastic.
Just before this, Lin Xiaopan scored 14.658 on the parallel bars for the People's Republic of China too.
Now that was the tip out. His arm just bent a little to adjust. And what will the judges make of that? But there was no problem here at all. Look at this extension, driving high up into that straddle front somersault to upper arms. Attacking the skills with conviction. And again, pulling into the rotations. Opening out just when it matters. Super dismount for him.
Daiki Hashimoto scores 14.066, so he's down by almost 3/10 from his qualification display. Japan are provisional leaders, but it does take a little less time to work through those routines than it does these. Just for clarification one more time, Lin Xiaopan 14.658 on the parallel bars shortly before. Arto Dalaloyan scores 13.966. Now that's interesting.
Yes, that execution score and the difficulty, the tip helped there. He had a little bit of a problem with it, and no escaping it with the judges. Scored 40.733 in qualifications, are quite a difference.
Xiao Zhuoteng. There's a good chance here for the People's Republic of China to really take advantage and go ahead in this mini battle with the Russian Federation, with Japan elsewhere.
Yes, they have two very strong gymnasts to come, starting with Xiao Zhuoteng, who's fourth in qualification, capable of excellent work on the parallel bars. Look at that double tuck to upper arm, knees tight together. Under somersault, half turn. Another under somersault. This time with that half turn, and another double. Oh, double somersault. Well, he needed strength there to lift into the handstand. Straddle front, floated through that one, and another little arm bend. That will be an execution error as well. Well, the tension is rising here. Double pike to finish and a hop back. Well, it could have been better. Beautiful in some respects, but there were some errors.
It's all gone a bit pommel horse here on the parallel bars in this men's team final.
It's a 14.966 in qualification, but I'm sure that won't be the case here. Let's take another look. That was very nicely done though, that double tuck back rotation. And here it's from the long swing to upper arm, same thing. Smoothly swinging, but there he just had to use his strength. You saw the shoulder angle close, and he really had to use his strength to open back up to handstand.
All the super slow motion replays, brutal on that, isn't it? It made it seem like it lasted for about half an hour. Judges don't get to see that view. That's important to remember. It does show us what went wrong from an execution standpoint. To Yuya Kamoto, Japan are on the horizontal bar where he scored 14.033 for this in qualification. The Asian Games all-around champion from Incheon in 2014.
Starts in a mixed grip. Changes to undergraph, stoops through and out into that handstand position with half turn. Very high Cassina. And the Coleman. Straight Kachev. Clean so far. Stooping and out with a full pirouette, hop over the bar, adding to the difficulty. Straddle, backward circle, the Stolder, into the hop full. And building, this is important. And a step forward on the landing. He wanted to control that, but still a solid, clean routine with some difficult work.
The magic words you uttered there, Lisa, clean. Japan 3 times on the horizontal bars. They've got through it.
They have indeed. Let's take another look here. Look at this. The somersault over the top of the bar with the full twist, swinging immediately into the giant and then building to the next big release, which was the same skill in the tuck position.
Meanwhile, Li Chi-kai has just got a 15 on the pommel horse. That's rather fun. 14.1 for Xiao Zhuoteng. Okay, this is a very interesting score because he's lost quite a lot from qualification.
Yes, there's no escaping those execution errors. The judges will have seen them. They don't need the slow motion.
Well, 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 a time for steadiness right now over on the parallel bars where things are proving just a touch dramatic after Japan have looked rather calm indeed on the horizontal bar. So, David Beliavsky, who scored 13.533 for this piece in qualifying.
Bronze on the parallel bars at the Rio Olympics. Needs to go well here. Needs to keep calm. Very nice in the Babsa to lift above the rails. On the hop. Out onto one rail. And the double front half turn, well, that was a superb dismount. One of the best double front halves we've seen so far. But he knows as an excellent gymnast to follow, it had to be a good routine.
And it was. It certainly was from the hugely experienced David Beliavsky.
Look at that, pressing through the shoulders to get the lift above the rails in the Babsa. Holding his nerve. 27-year-old, swinging well for the Russian Federation. There, moving out onto one rail. Took a team silver with the Russian Federation in Rio. Team silver at the World Championships last year. Can they go one better? They would love to take gold, never achieved it before. That was a beautiful dismount.
This might be very big. It is very big. 15.133 for David Beliavsky. The Russian Federation have opened up a couple of points at the top of the leaderboard. Now, Japan find themselves in the silver medal position, 13.866 for Yuya Kamoto. But the People's Republic of China still have one more performer to go on the parallel bars. Meanwhile, let's just take a moment and have some fun. Here's Li Chi-kai on the pommel horse.
Yes, let's have a look at this. Using his long levers beautifully there in the flares. Super style and difficult work. Those hand placements so accurate, having to miss the handles. Inch perfect, millimeter perfect. So much activity in the flare position, and why not when you can flare like that? Between the handles, well, a superb routine from him.
I tell you what, this pommel horse final is going to be an absolute treat at the weekend. Please do not miss it.
Look at that, look at the flexibility in his shoulders. That was a pirouette into the dismount. Li Chi-kai.
There, the score, 15 for Li Chi-kai. They really do believe in Chinese Taipei. This man could well be the world champion. On the subject of people who are world champions, Zhou Jingyuan, who came here going for his third in a row on the parallel bars. He hasn't qualified for the parallel bars final. He needs a score of around about 15 to send China back into the lead.
And he is very capable of producing it. But he has to perform right now when it matters. Look at the line. Beautiful in the handstand. Pencil straight, avoiding any additional hand placements so far. So light. Big straddle front into the long swing. Such rhythm and fluency in his work. And that's the highest Babsa we've seen so far. Rising up above the bars. Tip out. Problem there in qualification, but not today. An astonishing routine. Surely that has given China the opportunity to push Russian Federation as far as possible.
Have we a new leader? Have the People's Republic of China done enough? At the moment, the Russian Federation are in the lead.
Look at that extension through to the shoulders to help him swing back and get the highest possible straddle front somersault. Extended in every move. Beautiful line. A masterclass on the parallel bars. And they're tight in the tuck, knees together, and not a flicker on landing.
Just a masterclass. And they knew, oh how they knew, how important a score and how important a performance that was. Get close to 15 and the People's Republic of China are going to once again lead the standings, and surely there's a very good case been made for him to do exactly that.
Definitely, definitely.
We do know that the Russian Federation and Japan have swapped places. Oh, good Lord! 16.383.
That was something special.
A 9.383 execution, a 7 difficulty. You must be having a laugh.
That was a huge routine and producing when it really matters, didn't he?
How on earth did he do that?
Well, you could tell it was amplitude, it was virtuosity. If you want to show somebody how to do the parallel bars, you watch that routine.
Well, it's funny, as he was performing, I did think it almost looks as though someone's created a computer program of how the parallel bars should look. As a result, China lead, and boy, how did China lead? They've gone quite convincingly ahead. The Russian Federation and Japan have swapped places. USA and Great Britain non-movers as Ukraine dropped down to 8th, allowing Switzerland and Chinese Taipei to press up a little. That is one of the single greatest moments of these World Championships, that display from Zhou Jingyuan.
Well, we were expecting that in qualification. Unfortunately, it didn't come off, but beautiful to see that here in this team final.
Well, I never. Remarkable gymnastics from the People's Republic of China, and they've put themselves in pole position. They led by just about 4/10 at the end of the previous rotation. They've now got a lead of almost a mark and a half.
Yes, all courtesy there of Zhou Jingyuan, remarkable young man on the parallel bars. But we have another rotation to go.
Well, there's plenty of calculations going on here, but the key one is that the People's Republic of China now have a little bit of margin for error. Christian Baumann and James Hall will start for Switzerland and Great Britain on the pommel horse, but the gap really now, when you look at it, between third and fourth is getting on for 4 marks. It's a 3.5 or thereabouts gap, and it's just probably a little bit too much now for the USA to push in.
Yeah, it looks like it may be too much of a stretch. Meanwhile, Japan, who are in third place, are on floor. At the moment, it's the same order as it was at the end of the World Championships in 2018.
So after all of the twists and turns and fabulous drama, yes, we're back to the status quo in a most gloriously unexpected and fascinating of ways. What a final it has been. It will be the USA and Chinese Taipei who are working on the still rings. Japan will finish on the floor, where they've got some very good performers, and the drama here will be on the horizontal bar. Does that suit Japan rather nicely?
Well, they do have some nice workers on floor. They have some very strong workers on floor, and of course we have the spectacular horizontal bar for the Russian Federation and People's Republic of China as well, where we've seen, you know, those release and regrasp elements. You have to be clinging on with the fingertips at some points to avoid those falls. So, yes, a spectacular climax to this team final, quite appropriate.
Japan have a 216.194. They currently occupy the bronze medal position, just as they did in Doha 12 months ago. One rotation still to come, though. for the Japanese team, and Daiki Hashimoto will participate on the floor exercise on the uneven bars. We will see, or the horizontal bar, getting myself confused. We will see Arthur Dalaloyan.
And they're just warming up. You see, came off just that sort of an incident in competition. Clearly it's not in competition, it's in warm-up at the moment. Could be the difference in the colour of the medal. But there are two finalists, Arthur Dalaloyan and Lin Xiaopan, who will be going on this apparatus in this rotation.
There they are, the leading nation, the People's Republic of China, 219.622. And if you're just switching on now to catch the final rotation, you've missed an absolute corker from Zhou Jingyuan, who scored 16.383 on the parallel bars. Don't worry too much about missing it, because we'll be showing it for years to come, I suspect.
Yeah, so
just one of the finest bits of gymnastics you'll ever see in your life, isn't it?
Yeah, we talk about highlights, and that certainly was a highlight. Most of the other apparatus, their team total was in the 43s. It was pushed way up into 45s for that apparatus, courtesy of his routine.
To the rings for the USA. This is where their qualification campaign really lit up. And now they're finishing on the still rings, but they've had a very good final indeed, the United States of America. Such a transformation from the 7th place qualification effort that they produced. But the People's Republic of China, they were the second strongest qualifiers behind the Russian Federation. Doesn't matter a jot now, because they're leading. They have the advantage, an advantage of essentially a fall. Sun Wei.
So we begin the final rotation, and Sun Wei takes to a horizontal bar, begins his swings in the undergrasp position, stoops in and out with the pirouette at the vertical. Same with half a turn. First release, and he's off! He's off on the first straight Katchev.
Well, I said just a moment ago the advantage was roughly a fall. That advantage might have gone.
Look at that, he got his fingertips. They have to catch with extended arms, but it was too far a grasp for him. He needs to chalk up. He has 10 seconds to get back on the apparatus and continue in the best manner possible.
An unexpected moment. Sun Wei resumes.
And there's the same skill with the mixed grip, successful on that occasion. Now then, everybody holding their breath. Stolder. And double twisting, double straight, beautiful dismount. But he grits his teeth. He would like to do it again, but it's a one-off occasion.
Every single number counts. They are nervous now, the People's Republic of China.
Yes, any advantage they had coming from the parallel bars, it's been taken away. Beautiful conclusion to his routine, but he knows that has made things very interesting indeed.
A grimace from Sun Wei. He waits for his score. How costly will it be? And it does just notch up the pressure on everybody else now, not just him, but also the Russian team. They'll be absolutely aware that that has just happened.
Has the door opened very slightly?
It's certainly not locked anymore. That's one thing that we know. Might just be a fraction ajar. And what about over on the floor exercise, where Japan are performing, and they do have some very good floor routines. Kakeru Tanikawa is a gymnast who had struggles in qualification, 12.566.
And a big double pike, half turn, no problem there. Full twist in front, 2.5, but he's out of the area. powering into the double front half. Lovely extension in the flares and the handstand. Such flexibility of the hips. Look at that, the manette, legs parallel to the floor. Beautiful work. Well-controlled double twist. Two and a half. Half twist combination. And the triple twist to finish. A good routine from him. He was out on the second tumble pass, but much better than in qualification.
Pretty well transformed from qualification. Kakeru Tanikawa, the all-around champion in Japan.
This was the final tumble pass, the triple twist, just that hop back to control the momentum on landing.
Now, this is going to be costly in a big way. 12.766. That's a mark and 3/4 lost from the qualification score for Sun Wei, and more significantly, it's a score in the 12s. And now the Russian Federation have the chance, if they can go through clean here, this will really set the cat among the pigeons.
Yes, unfortunately, he'll have to just watch the rest of the competition unfold. His action is over.
Ivan Stretovic. He scored a 14.066 for this in qualifying.
Yeah, it's a tall gymnast with nice line. Always impressive on the horizontal bar, if he can go well. Very nice single arm work. Safe in the catch over, in the straddle position and the straight, and the straddle to mix. Scooping in and out with full turn and the hop over. Straight catch up to mix. As he completed all of his releases. Just the dismount. And a very good one it is as well. He's delighted.
What a massive display that was from Ivan Stretovic for the Russian Federation. Their first performance on the horizontal bar. It's a clean one. Can the Russian Federation take the advantage?
Well, what a moment this is for the Russian Federation as we come towards the conclusion of this huge competition. He did incredibly well. Look at the gymnast willing him on. Two twists, two somersaults. And a huge moment for Ivan Stretovic.
Beliavsky and Abliazim are watching on there. Their competition done. 14.066 for Kakeru Tanikawa. Japan are in the silver medal position. 0.3 penalty there for the step out of bounds. Ivan Stretovic has delivered. This is his final contribution to the team competition. Russian Federation are poised to really get close to the People's Republic of China and possibly go into the lead. They've never, ever won this title.
And the anxious wait.
One of the most anxious waits he will ever have. But it's good, it's very good, 14.666, and we've got ourselves new leaders. The gap is still microscopic.
Well, now the competition is on. What a performance from this young man when it mattered.
And now, for the People's Republic of China, the pressure has just gone up so much. Deng Shudi, the reigning Chinese all-around champion, their top all-around performer over the past 12 months, to the horizontal bar.
Nice straight catch, Ev. And the same to mix. And needs to perform this well. Straddle Kachev. The same to mixed grip. Scored 13.9 in qualification. Slight split of leg, just marginal for a second there. But building into the double twisting, double straight, nails the landing, super dismount.
It's game on again. It is game on again. Deng Shudi. It's going to be a dreadful, agonising wait for these gymnasts.
Well, he knew he had to go clean, and he did. Look at that, sure in the grasp. And this, a beautiful dismount, lifting into the double twisting, double straight, bends the knees to absorb the force, committed himself, rising to the challenge.
Now, over to the floor. And the young gymnast, Daiki Hashimoto.
Double, double. Faultless in the landing. Full twisting front, 2.5 twisting front combination. Difficult and well performed. But he sat down. Dearie me. Well, maybe too costly for Japan to climb back. He needs to make good the rest of this routine. A hallmark deduction for that pass. Looks at the clock. He has time to finish. 2.5, half. The last 5 seconds. Or 15 seconds, should I say. Getting ahead of myself. And the triple twist, beautifully round, but he had that fall, and he knows head in hands it will be costly.
It may well be. It may well just be that Japan are out of the race for anything other than bronze as a result of this.
Yes, well, that was the final tumble pass. Very nice triple twist. Oh dear.
He has been an absolutely magnificent gymnast at this competition. He's just 18, 13.533, but the future is full of promise for Daiki Hashimoto. That's the memory we'll take away with us from this men's team final and from these World Championships. Deng Shudi, 13.841, so the People's Republic of China go back into a leading position. But let's just have a think about what this means from a numeracy standpoint for the Russian Federation.
Yes, they have one more gymnast that's competed from their country.
So they're needing, the Russian Federation, a score around the 13.5 mark. Artur Delaloyan is going to attack the horizontal bar like he's never done before.
Yes. Very nice. Straight Kovac and the tuck Kovac scored 14.43 in qualification, the 5th highest qualifier. His unique style. Straight catcher into mixed. Reigning all around world champion, pulling on all of his experience here. Hop over the top. Stolder. And now the dismount. Full twisting, double straight. A fantastic performance from Delaloyan.
Have we once again got a change at the top of the leaderboard? They believe, he believes. What do you believe watching at home?
Well, emotions are high. He's thanking Stuttgart for their support. But look at that, form in the air on the Kovac. Using the bar to help elevate him in the tuck Kovac. Extension right the way through to the toes. He has such style in his movement. And here, the single twist in the double straight, and absolutely controlling his landing.
And did you ever doubt him for a moment? The reigning all-around world champion, is he about to become a reigning world team champion? And oh, how they want this one, the Russian Federation.
That's how much it means. Oh, what a competition we have. One more gymnast each from each country to go.
We are at the very final moments of this neck-and-neck contest between the Russian Federation and the People's Republic of China. Just for further clarification, they've never yet won it, but they lead once again. 14.366, and it's a lead of about a mark for the Russian Federation.
Well, if you're feeling the pressure, imagine it down on the competition floor.
We've got an absolutely fascinating 10 minutes or so of gymnastics to come. Every man jack of them there watching this performance. And it just so happens, the reigning Chinese horizontal bar champion that's about to perform. He produced a 6.5 difficulty score in qualification, so if you're expecting a nice calm finish, you won't get it, because this is going to be enormous.
Yes, a big routine required here. Very high straight catch-up, immediate straddle catch-up into mix. That's where the difficulty comes from, linking them together. Two-pin half turn out. A full twisting Kovacs, the Coleman as it's called. Straight catch-up mixed. Hop over, clean so far. Riendo. Changing the grip. Building up into the climax. Double twisting, double straight, and again, a super routine, putting the pressure back onto the Russian Federation.
Over to you, Russia, the Chinese team say. What do you have left in the locker? That's what we've got. That's what you want from your national champion.
Well, look at these combinations of skills. Superb work. Scored 14.433 in qualification. That's the Coleman. Catching with extended arms, keeping the momentum and the swing all the way through. Superb performance under pressure. And there the dismount. Bending the knees, punching the air. That's how much it means to him and the nation.
It's not bad, this gymnastics business, is it? Admit it, you're having fun watching at home, even if you have bitten through most of your nails right now. Lin Xiaopan gives us a wonderful performance, a sensational display. Now it's their turn to watch and wait. Such a contrasting reaction, some daring to dream, others will not yet. It's 14.5 for Lin Xiaopan. So that is the score that the Russian Federation are about to chase down. We know what the magic number is, 260.729. The Russian Federation have a score of 247.26, 13.5 for gold.
Well,
there is clarification. Let's be even, let's get it down to the final 100, shall we? 13.47 to be fully technical.
no pressure on this man's shoulders then.
None whatsoever. But he is a gentleman who's shown he can handle an occasion in a big, big way. We finish with the gymnast who's the top qualifier for the all-around competition, Nikita Nagorny. His number 13.47. Can he do it?
All eyes on him. Straight Kachev. Straight Kachev to mix. They're cheering every one of his releases. Stoop in, pirouette out. Extended in the shoulders. This is a massive moment for Nagorny. Clean in the straddle Kachev. And to mixed. One-arm giant. Hold your breath, everybody. Building up. The dismount to come. Double twisting, double straight. And surely that is a historic moment for the Russian Federation.
Now they dare to dream. Now they believe that it's all suddenly going to fall into place. The People's Republic of China have a look of doubt upon their face. Some of them can barely still stand in the crowd. What a display from the top man. Nikita Nagorny, the best performer in the all-around qualification, has just delivered possibly the routine of his and their lives. Yes, they may be rivals from time to time, but they're not really, because look at that camaraderie, look at that team spirit, and let's look in a moment and see what the number is going to be like.
Well, he had to keep his composure, didn't he? What a moment from Nagorny.
And now it's down to the judges.
Let's take a look at the replay. You could hear a pin drop. This was the dismount. This was the moment it came to conclusion. A beautiful dismount from Nagorny. He never faltered.
They've never, ever won it. The men's team title, they've never, ever won it. And so the wait goes on for the number. Some of them having a chat with the crowd, some, like him, are just staring, eyes glued to the massive scoreboard here in the arena in Stuttgart, this historic city for gymnastics, where so much history has been made over the past several competitions. The third World Championships here, the 49th. The wait is over. It is gold for the Russian Federation. They have finally won it. And they've done it by virtually an entire mark. How's that for delivering?
Oh, a huge performance from Nikita Nagorny, that 14.46, and the golden moment for the Russian Federation. Look at the emotion on those gymnasts' faces, making history here in Germany.
A quite extraordinary conclusion, and straight away over goes Artur Dalaloyan to say thank you very much, because I tell you what, you gave us the battle of our lives, and on this occasion the Russian Federation won it, and he's straight over in a really nice moment to console Sun Wei.
Well, it was heartbreak for them last year, just a 10th away from the People's Republic of China, but the tables have turned.
And Japan, they were great entertainers in this competition, producing a bronze medal. They were right in that race really up until the final rotation, and had both China and the Russian Federation wavered, then they might have stepped forward. But one can, I was about to say, one can have nothing but sympathy for the gymnast who does not land.
Yeah, Sun Wei, devastating moment for him, but he put in some astonishing performances as well. Team efforts across the board from all of the gymnasts here. I'm sure you've been impressed by every single one of them.
There's nothing they can say to him at the moment. There's nothing they need to say to him at the moment. He's one of the very finest that his country has. It just didn't quite happen on this occasion. But for them, for the Russian Federation, they have done it at last. And they will sing and scream into the night about this one.
Tears of joy. Tears of joy indeed.
We talk so often about how the great competitions develop between these gymnasts from the top nations, but first and foremost, they are a team. And they will look after him as a team. No words at the moment.
No.
No words necessary.
Can't be consoled.
It was a competition of such sensational drama that it was likely to come down to the most incredibly small of margins, and it did. And in the end, the Russian Federation, you know, you might look at this in years to come and look at the scores and just say, well, it was very close in 2018. It wasn't that close in 2019. A whole mark, the difference. It does not tell the story, does it, of this competition?
No, the pressure on Nikita Nagorny's shoulders, stepping up to that final routine. You cannot put it into words. To compose himself and produce that extraordinary exercise under those conditions, quite phenomenal.
Sometimes it's your day. Sometimes it's not your day. Doesn't make you any less or more of an athlete. Some way has had a tough one. But as you said, Lisa, everything that he has given to the team, everything that he has contributed to get them to this point. And let us not forget that China are once again on the podium. They are the silver medalists. And all of that means that in the men's team final, Japan win the bronze medal, the People's Republic of China win the silver, but for the very first time in the history of the sport, the Russian Federation are world men's team champions. How they have waited, the wait has ended. And you will have just a short wait for our victory ceremony, which will bring you after looking at some of the moments of the day. What an absolutely extraordinary men's team competition here at the World Championships of 2019. In just a short while, we will bring you the victory ceremony in this men's team competition. But just in case you fancy watching something a little dramatic now, because there hasn't been enough drama for you so far, we'll leave you with some acrobatic gymnastics work here out on the competition floor, and I shall return in a short while with that victory ceremony.
As the official partner of these Artistic Gymnastics World Championships, Fujitsu is now going to award the Fujitsu Infinity Award.
Als offizieller Partner der Turnweltmeisterschaft ist Fujitsu stolz darauf, den Fujitsu Infinity Award zu verleihen.
Please welcome the gymnasts and officials.
Bitte begrüßen Sie die Preisträger und die Ehrengäste.
It's now time for the presentation of the Fujitsu Infinity Award here at the World Championships of Artistic Gymnastics.
This award is meant to honor the team who has shown most challenging spirits, presented elements with higher technical difficulties, as well as appealing infinite possibilities for achieving enhanced technical elements. The teams who have demonstrated the most challenging spirits in the course of the team finals.
Dieser Preis wird an die Teams mit dem größten Teamspirit vergeben, die Elemente mit den höchsten technischen Schwierigkeiten gezeigt haben.
The 2019 Fujitsu Infinity Award goes to...
Der Fujitsu Infinity Preis 2019 geht an...
the women's team of the United States of America.
And so the presentation of the Fujitsu Infinity Award to the United States women's team, an award for technical prowess, for the enhancement and elevation of the sport in terms of its technical elements.
Jade Carey, Michaela Skinner.
So Simone Biles, Cara Aker, Sunisa Lee, Grace McCallum, Jade Carey, Michaela Skinner, the winners of the Fujitsu Infinity Awards.
Infinity Award, please welcome.
Zur Übergabe der Preise begrüßen Sie bitte die Jury.
Tatsuya Tanaka, Chairman of Fujitsu. Morinari Watanabe, President of the International Gymnastics Federation.
Präsident der FIG, des Internationalen Turnverbandes.
And there the Fujitsu Infinity Award 2019, a special award at these World Championships. And in just a moment, we'll have the presentation of the men's team medals.
The 2019 Fujitsu Infinity Award goes to the men's team of...
Der Fujitsu Infinity Preis 2019 geht an das Männerteam von...
People's Republic of China.
Die Volksrepublik China.
And the corresponding award for men's artistic gymnastics to the People's Republic of China.
Shudi, Lin Xiaopan, Swun Wei, Xiao Ruoteng, So Jingwan, and Yu Hao.
The gymnasts Deng Shudi, Lin Xiaopan, Sun Wei, Xiao Ruoteng, Zhou Jingyuan and Yu Hao.
To present the Fujitsu Infinity Award, please welcome
Übergabe des Preises begrüßen Sie herzlich
Tatsuya Tanaka, Chairman of Fujitsu. Morinari Watanabe, President of the International Gymnastics Federation.
und der Präsident des Internationalen Turnverbandes Morinari Watanabe.
Both team winners of the Fujitsu Infinity Award will receive a trophy as well as a check.
Die beiden Gewinnerteams erhalten eine Trophäe, die sie jetzt in Händen halten, und ein Preisgeld in Höhe von 5.000 US-Dollar. Applaus, meine Damen und Herren, für die Mannschaft der Volksrepublik China, the People's Republic of China.
So the presentation of the Fujitsu Infinity Awards for women's and men's artistic gymnastics to the USA and the People's Republic of China, respectively. And still to come, the core order of business of the day, the presentation of those men's team medals. And the media of the world is watching and waiting with cameras at the ready. And it's going to be a chance to take a picture of a little piece of history. So do please stay with us for that presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the FIG Artistic Gymnastics World Championships Stuttgart 2019 Award Ceremony for the men's team final.
Meine Damen und Herren, die FIG Turnweltmeisterschaft 2019 in Stuttgart, Siegerehrung Mannschaft der Männer.
Please welcome the successful gymnasts.
Bitte begrüßen Sie die erfolgreichen Turner.
It's now time for the victory ceremony for the men's team competition at the World Championships of Artistic Gymnastics 2019, being held here for the third time in the city of Stuttgart, Germany. And what a competition. Oh, such drama, such intrigue, such guessing games until the very last moments. And the final chapter of this story would be written by the Russian Federation, who would make history and do the one thing that they had never done before. Never before have they stood as a team in men's gymnastics in that place.
Auf dem dritten Platz und Gewinner der Bronzemedaille. Daiki Hashimoto, Yuya Kamoto, Katsuma Kaya, Takeru Tanigawa, Wataru Tanigawa, Shogo Monomura, Coach Mitsutori Hisashi. Japan!
The bronze medal to Japan, to the team of Daiki Hashimoto, Yuya Kamoto, Kazuma Kaya, Kakeru Tanigawa, Wataru Tanigawa and Shogo Monomura.
And winners of the silver medal.
Auf dem zweiten Platz und Gewinner der Silbermedaille. Deng Shudi, Lin Xiaopan, Shun Wei, Xiao Guoteng, So Qingwan, Yu Hao, and the coach Wang Hongwei.
People's Republic of China.
The silver medal to the People's Republic of China, to Deng Shudi, Lin Xiaopan, Sun Wei, Xiao Teng, Zhou Jingyuan and Yu Hao.
In first place, winners of the gold medal and world champions.
Auf dem ersten Platz, Gewinner der Goldmedaille und Weltmeister Mannschaft der Männer 2019.
Денис Аблязин, Давид Белявский, Артур Далалаян, Никита Нагорный, Иван Стритович, Владислав Плешов, and the coach Валерий Alfonso.
As a team they did this, as a team they stand on the podium. The gold medalists, the Russian Federation, Denis Abliazin, David Belyavsky, Artur Dalaloyan, Nikita Nagorny, Ivan Stretovic, Vladislav Polyashov, the history makers, the relief mixed with joy. It finally has happened.
Please welcome the honorary
The
guests.
best men's
Meine Damen und
team
Herren,
in the
bitte
world.
begrüßen Sie die Ehrengäste.
And to do it the year before the Olympic Games as well. And now to the presentation of the medals and the gifts.
Mrs. Nellie Kim, Vice President of the FIG.
Die Goldmedaillen werden übergeben von Frau Nellie Kim, Vizepräsidentin der FIG.
The silver medal will be presented by Mrs. Naomi Valenzo, member of FIG Executive Committee.
Die Silbermedaillen werden übergeben von Frau Naomi Valenzo, Mitglied des Exekutivkomitees der FIG.
Introduction of the presentation party.
The bronze medal will be presented by Mr. Martin Scheirer, Deputy Mayor, City of Stuttgart.
Und die Bronzemedaillen werden übergeben von Herrn Dr. Martin Scheirer, Bürgermeister der Stadt Stuttgart.
And so as the medals are presented, a moment of reflection on the most extraordinary drama. And what a display from Nikita Nagorny. How he handled the occasion. Went through that horizontal bar routine in the most exemplary of fashions. And that may well be the image of the competition. But the story behind it, the work that's gone into this, the teamwork they've shown, it can't be represented in one single moment, one single dismount. Every one of them, they've played their part in the creation of history for the Russian men's artistic gymnastics team. Coaching staff as well that have been a part of this whole operation. They came away 12 months ago having almost done it. This time they have. The Russian Federation are the champions. They have taken the team gold medal. And for the People's Republic of China, they gave it as good a race as you can ever give something. Beautiful medals being presented to the gymnast. The design is so stylish, rather befitting the quality of this men's team competition. And let us not forget Japan, the third factor in this equation, the bronze medalists, who calmly went about delivering a great display. And now, the national anthem of the Russian
Meine Damen und
Federation.
Herren, zu Ehren der Sieger hören wir nun die Nationalhymne der Russischen Föderation. Meine Damen und Herren, ein herzlicher Applaus schon mal für die besten Turner!
The one they wanted more than anything else. And now they have it. The medalists in the men's team competition at the Artistic Gymnastics World Championships of 2019.